for the Cincinnati Reds as he goes from the 9-hole to the leadoff spot tonight. And Chris Dickerson has now hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. And that time he's batting .524 with 3 doubles, a ribby, 3 stolen bases, and 5 runs scored. So he gets promoted to the top of the lineup. And tonight's first pitch is a bunt to first base, fielded by Garco, and he'll tag out. Chris Dickerson went with the head-first slide into first. So 1 away after 1 pitch this evening. Time now for today's injury report, brought to you by the law firm of Nuremberg Paris, Ohio's injury lawyer since 1928. Call 1-800-399-2300. Asdrubal Cabrera progressing. Should see him back soon, if not tomorrow, possibly next week. Aaron Laffey, 1 more rehab start. He should be back with the team late this upcoming week. And there's the Cincinnati Reds injured players as well.
Well, it's Edison Volquez. It's normally his turn to start, so he is hurt, and that is why Homer Bailey is getting the start.
And Rosales was sent out today to make room on the roster for Homer Bailey. Here's Jerry Hairston hitting in the 2-hole tonight, playing third base once again. 2-0 now to Jerry Hairston Jr. He's been playing around the diamond this season. He's appeared in 9 games at second, 27 games at third, 13 at short, 7 in left, 2 in center, and 1 in right.
You know, I'm curious to see how many gloves he brings with him or out to the bench when he plays. He may use the same glove at third base and in the outfield, or he may have an outfielder's glove. I'd be curious to see.
He can play a lot of positions. That versatility that Dusty Baker likes. Now 3-1 is the count to Jerry Hairston Jr. with 1 away here in the first inning. That pitch lifted in the air to left. Looks like it's going to make the seats, though it will, as Johnny Peralta is over there to give it a look. Now the count goes full. Jerry Hairston 7 for 28 in his last 8 games. There's Joey Votto hitting in the 3-hole tonight. Batted cleanup last night. He and Phillips are flip-flopping. Votto in the 3-hole. Phillips batting 4th. So now a full count to Jerry Hairston. And he lines that one right back up the middle for a base hit. So the Reds with a runner aboard here in the first inning with 1 away. And that'll bring Joey Votto to the plate.
Well, he's going to go right at him. A fastball. He didn't want to walk him. There might have been a little cutter there on the outside part of the plate that Hairston stayed on, hit right up into center field.
Hairston now 3 for 11 in his career against Tomo Oka. And for Joey Votto, this will be the first time he's ever seen Oka. So keep Hairston close at first.
Well, remember we said at the start of last night's game, you would think that the pitcher has the advantage being out in the sunshine, the hitters are in the shadows, and it was tough to see, I think, for the first couple of innings of last night's ball game.
Yeah, same thing here again tonight. The pitch is low. 1-0 to Joey Votto. Here's a good look at the shadows here, Rick. Nice job by our STO crew. As you can see, that it looks like you got sun, a little bit of shadow, a little bit of sun, and then all shadow again. And you said last night that makes it difficult to pick up the spin on the baseball.
Well, sometimes it is. When you get a breaking ball, sometimes it's tough. The spin, by the time you pick it up, it's on you.
So this is pretty close to what Votto sees, and you could see that ball going in and out of the shadows. He found it, though, but Shin-Soo Choo tracks down that line drive to right center. So Votto is out number 2, though he hit the ball well. And that'll bring Brandon Phillips to the plate, who's batting cleanup tonight for the Reds. Brandon Phillips has been struggling a little bit. He's just 1 for his last 13. That one hit was a double in last night's game. Brandon Phillips will be turning 28 years old tomorrow. So 2 outs with Jerry Hairston on first base for Cincinnati here in the first inning. First pitch to Phillips is a strike. Phillips, a guy that can give you that power from the middle infield position. You see his career numbers against Oka, very good. And he also has 11 homers this year. That ranks third among National League second basemen.
Well, the breakdown on Tomoka, right-handers hit him much better than left-handers do. Right-handers a .361 average this year, and they've hit 3 homers. Left-handers, .211, but they've also hit 3 homers. Right. And that may be that cutter that gets into the left-handers a little more. The right-handers, that cutter would be going away into the barrel head of that bat.
A pitch fouled away. So 0-2 now to Brandon Phillips hitting cleanup. You know, last night, Rick, we saw Phillips and then Votto in 3-4. Now it's Votto, Phillips. What's one of the reasons, perhaps, for flip-flopping these two guys?
Well, you've got Hairston, the right-hander up there. And, you know, you may put the lefty, and you've got Phillips, the righty, and you got Nix. You know, you just may flip-flop them.
Now the 0-2 pitch. That one way up high. One and two now to Brandon Phillips. Tomoka tonight making his third start for the Tribe. He was born in Kyoto, Japan. Second major league pitcher to start a game for the Indians, born in Japan. Kaz Tadano was the other back in 2004. Tomoka seems a little bit concerned with Hairston over there at first base.
Well, Hairston has stolen 7. He's been caught twice. You know, 1-2 count may be the time if you throw a breaking ball to protect Phillips in this at-bat.
That pitch fouled away. Hairston took a little baby step towards second.
He just may be messing with him to try and take a little of his attention away from Phillips at the dish. Right now with 2 outs, if you pay attention to him and he gets a jump and steals it, no big deal. You get the third out, you get the hitter. You're ahead of him in a 1-2 count.
So once again, the 1-2 to Brandon Phillips. That pitch inside, he says it hit him. You know, it looked like he was trying to sell that.
Well,
Tim
it
McClellan
did, and it didn't. No, he said no, it did not. Put an end to it in a hurry, didn't he? Watch, he looks like he wanted to go to first base. Now, whether it catches some uniform, hard to tell. Awfully close, but he was walking like he wanted to go to first base. That one got him.
Well, that didn't make a big effort to move out of the way.
You know what he's doing?
McClellan said foul ball.
He's, you know what he's doing? He's saying he didn't try to get out of the way. It looked like he just put his elbow out
and
there.
Here comes Dusty Baker. He wants to chat about it with
That's
Tim
exactly
McClellan.
what happened. He didn't move. He sort of leaned into it. And McClellan's saying, no, you didn't. See, he pushed his
Yep.
That's a good call.
Yep.
If you don't get out of the way or make an attempt to get out of the way, and he actually put his elbow out there, that was really a good call by McClellan when you see the replay. Dusty's going to go up there and argue it, but he's not going to have a fight. Tim McClellan made a good call on that ball, especially when you see it on the replay. And, you know, he's looking at it for the first time. He has no look on the replay, but watch him push that arm out. The pitch before came awfully close. He got out of the way. This time he just throws that elbow out front.
So it's ruled a ball then. Correct to make the count full, 3-2. And if the batter, of course, makes no attempt to get out of the way, he doesn't get first. Now he does on ball 4. So he winds up down there anyhow. Jerry Hairston will trot down to second base.
He just have a little pain taking that one ball.
Took one for the team and got nothing for it.
Right.
So now Lance Nix the batter with Reds at first and second base. 2 away here in the first inning. Lance Nix, another Red that's been struggling at the plate. In his last 15 games, he's batting .180, dropping his batting average from .288 to .253 there. There's ball one from Oka.
Well, last night with 2 outs, the offense, Cleveland scored 6 of their 9 runs with 2 outs. Cincinnati scored zip. They were 0 for 9 with 2 outs, and they had 4 chances with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 4 there.
Another ball to Nix, so Tomo Oka now having a little trouble finding the plate here in the first inning. Lance Nix last played Wednesday in Toronto. He had Thursday off and last night off here in Cleveland. But batting 5th in the starting lineup here today. And he's in a hitter's count here with 2 away and 2 aboard for the Reds. Now 3-0 to Lance Nix. Tomo Oka in his career against Cincinnati has done well. He's 5-2 with a 3.34 ERA in 11 starts. First time he's seen him in a little while. There's a strike. 3-1 now to Nix. Johnny Gomes is on deck. He would be next. There he is. Should Lance Nix continue the inning. Now the 3-1. And pitch up high. Ball 4 to Lance Nix. So now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And that'll bring perhaps the Reds' hottest hitter right now, Johnny Gomes, to the plate.
And that's going to bring Carl Willis out of that dugout in the first inning. All of a sudden, he just lost it. Votto hit that ball to right field and hit on the nose, but it was an out. He had 2 outs, man on, no big deal. Then ran into trouble. Couldn't throw Phillips strikes, and then Nix cannot find the strike zone. So a couple of walks here in the first inning has set it up. Just a little pat on the back and say, let's go. Get back into the strike zone.
So now Johnny Gomes, tonight's designated hitter, who in his last 15 games is batting .410. 5 doubles, 3 homers, and 8 runs batted in. He's taken his batting average from .286 at that time to now .367. Last night, Johnny Gomes was 2 for 3 with a ribby. And pitch outside for a ball. And Tomo Oka's pitch count has gotten up there now with 22 here in the first inning and only 9 for strikes.
I was going to say, 13 of those pitches have been balls. All things considered, Dickerson grounded out on the first pitch of the game.
Yep. There's a breaking ball for a strike. 1-1 now to Johnny Gomes. Former Ray. So look at the runners for you. Hairston at third. Phillips at second. Nix at first. The 1-1. Hit on the ground to short. Valbuena backs up, made a nice play. Through to second the short way, and the Indians out of the inning. Reds don't score in the first. Tribe coming to bat. Victor Martinez. First inning, but could not score. Now the Tribe will see what they can do against Homer Bailey with this lineup. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Jamie Carroll leads it off. Then Sizemore Martinez, who has 20 RBIs this month. Shin-Soo Choo batting cleanup. Garco's hitting in the 5-hole today. Hafner the DH. Johnny Peralta back at third base tonight. Luis Valbuena at short. And Ben Francisco in the starting lineup tonight. He's in left, batting ninth.
Homer Bailey making his second major league start this year. His other one came against the Tribe. He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, gave up 6 runs, 6 walks. He had 3 strikeouts and 1 home run. And the defense behind Bailey is this: Nix, Dickerson, and Bruce in the outfield. Hairston, Yanish, Phillips, Votto on the infield, and Hannigan behind the plate.
And 23-year-old Homer Bailey on the hill with his first pitch to Jamie Carroll. And that's a strike over the inside corner.
You know, after his last start against the Indians, he was sent back down. And what he did do, he learned, and he was been experimenting with a split finger fastball. He ended up going 5-0 down there out of 6 starts. You may not see it. He'll probably throw it 15 to 25 times in a ball game. And maybe that first time through the lineup, he may mix it in there with 2 strikes. And then the second time around, go on and do that. That's the scouting report we have from him in the minor leagues. We'll see if it works up here.
The 1-1 now to Carroll. That breaking pitch is outside, 2-1. And his last start for AAA Louisville on Monday took on Gwinnett through his 7th consecutive quality start, Rick, to earn the 11-5 victory. Went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits and 1 earned run, walked 2 and struck out 8.
Well, he's a guy that's always been an overhand guy, with the curveball. But they took his curveball away from him last year, made him more of a fastball slider pitcher, and he got beat badly. So now he feels more comfortable working with that fastball splitter, and he still will stay with the slider. But I don't know if he's going to mix in any curveballs or not. We will see.
It's 3-1 now to Jamie Carroll, the Indians' leadoff hitter tonight. 3-2. That pitch nailed the outside corner. But one of the things you really appreciate with Jamie Carroll is Grady Sizemore waits on deck. It's the way he can take pitches. He is not afraid at all to take pitches and work deep into the count.
Well, he's a hitter that has confidence that he can hit with 2 strikes, and he makes a pitcher work.
Now the payoff. And that one just off the plate. He'll get the respect, too, as he does there on the borderline pitch. Carroll's on at first. Grady Sizemore coming to the plate, and before he gets here, let's tell you about Alvin's Jewelers. You know they've got a big sale going on. You can save up to 81% on jewelry of your choice. Support a Cleveland-owned family jeweler. Visit alvinsjewelers.com for store locations. Now Grady Sizemore to the plate. With Carroll on first base and nobody out here in the first inning. Grady Sizemore last night was on base 3 times in 5 plate appearances. It's 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. And pitch inside.
Well, the Indians hitters, the way they were swinging it last night, they're going to make you get in the strike zone. They realized that scouting report last time Bailey pitched against him, he walked 6 guys. They will force him to get into the zone.
1-0 to Grady. Sizemore lines that one at right, but right at Jay Bruce, who makes the catch. Boy, Sizemore's been tattooing the ball since he's come off the DL. Did it again there, but hit it right at the right fielder. Let's take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game, brought to you by Great Clips. Victor Martinez going yard to right center. Nice catch by the fan there, too.
So, yeah, it was. Second straight day that Victor's left the ballpark.
Great Clips, relax. You're at Great Clips. So now Victor to the plate. See the numbers on Martinez. He's been the Indians' most consistent hitter throughout the season thus far. And he hits the first pitch he sees deep to center field. But going back with room and making the catch is the center fielder, Chris Dickerson. No, he dropped the ball. What are they saying? The runner is safe. Carroll's got to hustle to second. Here's the throw, and he's out. Well, it looked like he caught the ball, and then the ruling was when it was dropped on the catch, not on the separation. Therefore, Martinez was safe. Jamie Carroll was already going back to first base.
Well, yeah, it was a routine catch. You know, as a matter of fact, I was going to put down on my scorecard fly ball 8. There it is. Oh, he's got that ball.
Looked like he
had that ball. That's got to be an out. He had it for enough time to transfer it. As a matter of fact, this works out badly for the Indians. You'd rather have Carroll on first base than Martinez. That'll go fielder's choice, but he caught that ball.
It's the old fielder's choice, 8-4? And nothing Jamie Carroll could do, obviously. He had to get back to first base. So at any rate, the Indians still have a runner on first with 2 away, but as Rick pointed out, it's now Victor Martinez as opposed to Jamie
You know,
Carroll.
all right, let's
That's
see.
going to go 8-4-6.
Okay, there
by
it
the
is.
way.
Look, he's got it. And then as he was getting ready to throw it, it did come out of the glove. I disagree with that call.
Yeah, it sure did appear that he made that catch. So now Shin-Soo Choo with the 1-0 count, and he fouls that one away. With a couple of shots here in the first inning, Rick. Grady Sizemore and Victor Martinez right on those pitches from Homer Bailey.
Well, Victor's really close to getting back and getting in another hot streak. You can tell the way he's swinging it. He is, Pittsburgh. He had 4 good at-bats in one game. Came back last night, had a good night, and that first one tonight. He's getting very close to locking in.
Now, Shin-Soo Choo has been another consistent hitter for the Tribe. He's batting .328 against right-handers this year. And 7 of his 9 homers come off righties. Grounds that one to first. It's foul outside the line. So now 1-2 to Shin-Soo Choo, and tonight's League Leaders update is brought to you by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And speaking of Choo and Martinez, there they are with on-base percentage. Only Kevin Youkilis in the American League has been better.
Well, you have to like that. You see that combination 3-4 in the lineup, and they're on base a lot. So those boys behind them, 5, 6, 7, have a chance to clean up. That's where the RBI should be coming from.
So now Choo with the 1-2 count. Pitch away. Like Ryan Hannigan was going to stand up and want that one high, Rick, and came out of his stance and then even put his arms in the air. The pitch was low and kind of outside.
Well, we watched it last night with Choo. Down in the count 0-2, how he works pitchers. Rarely will you get him to swing at something out of the zone. They want it up. Right there, fastball up, fastball in. A little breaking ball. See, they got to get on the same page.
Yeah.
is what happens. I think Bailey wants to throw something different than what Hannigan is calling. He went fastball up, didn't like it. In, no. Now breakable. He may want to go to the splitter.
Now it's fairly obvious, at least here in the first inning, Hannigan and Bailey are not on the same page as far as what pitches they want to throw.
Well, and if you're a young pitcher and you're getting, only your second start, you better have a conviction on what pitches you want to throw, especially at the major league level when you're trying to get an out.
Choo fouls that one away.
Could have been a splitter right there. 87 miles per hour. I'll keep an eye on that because he's throwing 95, 94, right. 95. So I think that 87 mile, that's a split finger fastball.
There's Martinez on first. 2 away here in the first inning. No score.
I told you that first time through he likes to throw it with 2 strikes. Then you follow it up. That's pretty good execution right there.
Good 95-mile-per-hour fastball strikes out Choo, and the Indians are done in the first. We'll go to the second. Scoreless in Cleveland. Continental Airlines, official airline of the Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Beautiful shot there at some of the sites in downtown Cleveland. Another gorgeous day today. We move to the second inning. It'll be hitters 7, 8, and 9 in the Reds lineup. Jay Bruce, Ryan Hannigan, Paul Janisch, as Jay Bruce swings and misses at the first one. And boy, his average, Rick, now down to .209. He's got the 17 homers, but talk about an all-or-nothing hitter. This is pretty much it.
Well, when you're a young hitter and you've had a little success with the long ball, sometimes you have a tendency it's go for it all. And then you see that average starting to fall and you start panicking a little bit. You just have to relax and believe in yourself and use all the field. He's just trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. Eventually it'll settle in. And I guarantee you with Dusty Baker over there and their hitting coach, they're trying to get you to. You see, he's pulling everything. He's trying to. And, for the most part, you could be a pull hitter, but if you want to hit for average, you're going to have to use more of the field.
2-2 now to Jay Bruce. Has 1 hit in his last 13 at-bats. That came Thursday against Toronto, was a double. Lines that one to right.
There you go.
Up it goes and out. Home run for Jay Bruce. He golfs that one out to right field. And Cincinnati takes a 1-0 lead on Jay Bruce's 18th home run of the season.
No, that's the 7th home run given up by Oka. He has given up 2 home runs in his last 2 starts. And actually, 2 home runs in his last 3 appearances. There's that little breaking ball down. He's a low ball hitter. Typical left-hander. He threw the first fastball by him upstairs. Tried to trick him down with the slow stuff. It speeds up his bat, and he hits his 18th homer.
So Jay Bruce gets the Reds on the board with a solo home run here in the 2nd inning. And now Ryan Hannigan, tonight's catcher for the Reds, looks at strike 1 from Tomo Oka. Numbers on Hannigan look pretty impressive. Well, he hasn't started a game at catcher since last Saturday. Or I beg your pardon, last Sunday against the Chicago White Sox. He leads all National League rookies in on-base percentage and ranks 2nd in hitting. He's also one of the selections in our fantasy game tonight.
Well, that's
the
right.
Reds fans chose.
They had Votto, Phillips, and Hannigan.
Yep. We have
Okay.
Sizemore, Martinez, and Chu.
Standoff.
Fouled away. Ryan Hannigan does have a 5-game hitting streak. He got into the game last night and walked. Jay Bruce now with that last home run as Hannigan drives a base hit to left center field. Sizemore will get over there and hold Hannigan to a single. But Jay Bruce is now 1 for 17 versus Cleveland this year. But his one hit was that home run. All right, time for tonight's poll question brought to you by Alltel. Text your answer to 31962. Which of the following Reds greats would you have most liked to see play? This was before interleague play was in. Was it Rose, Bench, Foster, Perez, or Concepcion? 31962. Text your answer there. Of course, the results coming up for you later here on the broadcast. Now Paul Janisch, who's bunting. Great bunt. Peralta coming in. Underhanded throw, not in time. So now the Reds have runners at first and second with nobody out, and that was pretty much textbook by Paul Janisch there.
That's a very good heads-up play. I mean, he comes out. Oka gave up a home run to start this inning, another base hit, and he's concentrating on, he just drops the ball down the line, a beautiful bunt, and gets Johnny Peralta right there. No throw. Garco came off the bag.
So the Reds are ready with 1 run home here on the Bruce homer in the 2nd. Now have runners at first and second, nobody out, and we go back to the top of the order, and Chris Dickerson tried to drag a bunt to first base.
Yes, he
first
did.
time up.
Left-handers before the Bruce home run were 1 for 13 in the series. Now 2 for 14. So, and Oka better against lefties and righties.
And one would assume Chris Dickerson would be looking to lay one down here. Johnny Peralta's playing it on the grass at third. Garco's just behind the runner, Janisch at first, as you get a look at the defense there. Dickerson taking all the way for a strike. So the Reds with an opportunity here to add on. Runners at first and second and nobody out. The 0-1 pitch to Dickerson. Swinging away, strike 2. So Dickerson not interested in bunting in this situation.
Yeah, too early in the ball game. They got to try and have a big inning.
And now he's down 0-2 in the count.
Well, Oka has had 3 counts where he's had hitters down. Phillips 0-2, he walked him. Bruce, he was down 1-2, hit the home run. And Hannigan was down 1-2, and he got the base hit.
There's a ball now to Dickerson. Chris Dickerson has hit the ball pretty well of late, as we said at the start. Hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games, batting over 500 in that time. 1-2 is fouled away. Chris Dickerson ranks third among National League rookies in on-base percentage. He'd love to get out here with Reds at first and second and nobody out.
Oka looking for a ground ball. He could use a double play here.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Keeping Hannigan honest at second base. Now the 1-2. That one grounded foul. Outside the bag at first. Tomo-Oka's pitch count is now up to 40. 23 of those strikes. He still doesn't have anybody out here in the second inning.
Yeah, that is not good.
So a double
that means
play
in
ball
line for an early exit is what it means.
A double play ball would be beneficial in more than one way here than just simply getting a couple of outs. Also keep his pitch count down so he could stay in. There's a good one. Apparently not, says Tim McClellan. Just missed on the outside corner.
Well, with McClellan, you've got to be on the plate. I mean, 2 inches here or there, and it's a ball, and he will not give in. He'll be like that all night long. And he's been known as a better ball strike umpire, one of the better ones in, of the umpires that they have in baseball.
Now the 2-2 is laced to right field. Chu going over, won't get there. Bounces off the wall. Reds will score one as Chu fires it into second base, and sliding with a double safely is Chris Dickerson. He also gets the RBI, and the Reds lead now 2-0. Still nobody out here in the second inning.
Tell you what, Chu played that ball about as good as you can play it, and Dickerson can run. He almost got him at second base if that throw was on line. 4 straight hits, though, by Oka. You see, he had to bring this one on the plate, and they are waiting for him. That one's elevated up in the zone. I mean, that was a rope. But here comes Chu. Bare hands it. Look at him, the one hop, and it looks like by the time they can get him, they were saying his foot was off the base. Valbuena's saying that, but it wasn't. As Hannigan comes in to score. So you fantasy campers, you got a single and he scores. That's 2 points for you.
Yep. So the Reds take the lead in our fantasy game tonight, as well as they have it on the scoreboard, 2-0. Strike one to Jerry Hairston, who's now batting with runners at second and third and nobody out. So the Reds looking for a big inning here in the second. Already 2 runs in. Jerry Hairston singled his first time up. Made it to third before he died. Fouls that one off. So 0-2 to Jerry Hairston Jr. A 33-year-old utility player extraordinaire. The only positions he has not played this year for the Reds, besides pitcher, are catcher and first base. But he's played all 3 outfield positions and second, short, and third. Now the 0-2 pitch. That one hit hard but foul. So the count remains 0-2 to Hairston.
Well, right now, they are getting some very good swings off Oka. He is not fooling many hitters. Even when he's ahead in the count, they're having good swings. That's not a good sign.
Once again, the 0-2. And again, Hairston fouls it away to stay alive. Jerry Hairston's dad, Jerry Hairston Sr., of course, played in the big leagues. 14 seasons. And a .258 average as you get a look at the base runners. It's Giannis at third, Dickerson at second, and Hairston at the plate. And he swings and hits that one to left pretty well. It's deep, and it is off the top of the wall. That'll score 2 as Francisco plays it into Valbuena. No, it won't. Only scored 1. Holding up was Chris Dickerson. And then he goes back to third base. So strangely, a double off the top of the wall in left field. Only scores 1. It's 3-0 Cincinnati.
There's nobody out. He didn't want to force the issue. He wasn't sure And by the time he figured it out, he should have scored, because you got to know that this ball's going off the wall. That's an 0-2 pitch, mind you, that goes off the wall high. Francisco gets it on the first bounce, but they didn't want to take a chance with Dickerson. So it's back-to-back doubles, 5 straight hits in the inning. And Cincinnati has a 3-0 lead. Runner still at second and third, and still nobody out.
Paul Janisch came in on the play, so interestingly, we could tell clearly from up here that that ball was going to either be out or off the top of the wall, Rick. And Chris Dickerson on second couldn't see that.
Well, that's just a bad read on his part. I don't care what you say. You've got to know, and you get the read off the bat.
Mike Gosling loosening up in the Indians' bullpen as Tomo Oka has run into trouble here in the second inning. The Reds now have 3 runs on 6 hits tonight. And they have runners at second and third with nobody out now for hitters 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Joey Votto, who lined out to the right fielder Shin-Soo Choo back in the first inning. So you get a look at the base runners. There's Dickerson at third and now Hairston at second. And ball 1 to Joey Votto. Votto against Cleveland this year, now 2 for 9 as he looks at a strike from Oka. Both those hits have been home runs. They came in May in Cincinnati. That pitch away. 2-1 now to Joey Votto. Tomo Oka now at 50 pitches tonight. Broken bat grounder to first. Garco gets in front of it. He'll flip to Oka covering. That retires Votto, but another run scores for Cincinnati as Dickerson comes home. 4-0 Reds. Hairston moves to third with 1 away. And the Reds now, put up a nice crooked number here in the second inning. So that'll go 3-1 on the ground out. First out of the inning. Cleanup hitter Brandon Phillips to the plate, who walked his first time up. Brandon Phillips leads the Reds in RBIs this year with 48. Looking to drive in another. The Indians' infield is in, and Phillips hits that one high in the air to right. The runner will tag. We'll see.
Be fun.
Should be. Here comes Shin-Soo Choo. He had a clutch on the throw. Still puts it right there. Martinez the tag. He's out at the plate. Oh my, Shin-Soo Choo with the laser beam from right field. Jerry Hairston, you're out. Reds are finished in the second, but they score 4. One more look at the rifle arm of Shin-Soo Choo. Nothing. As Shin-Soo Choo was talking to Derek Shelton there about that last throw, he now has 6 assists. He's tied for third in the American League, and boy, he has got a rifle.
You know what? He double clutched on that ball,
yes,
too.
He
didn't get it out of the glove, and still threw a strike in the air. People will learn the second half of this year. You better not run on Choo.
So for the Indians here in the second inning, it'll be hitters 5, 6, and 7. Garco, Hafner, and Peralta. The 1-0 pitch to Ryan Garco. It's a strike from Homer Bailey. 1-1 now. There's the numbers on Garc this season. He had a 2-run homer last night. He had a couple of hits. Garco batting .290 this season now at Progressive Field. He also has 5 of his 7 home runs here.
And we won it with 2 outs and in the 4th inning. That's where he has been stellar. Yeah, 4 home runs in the 4th inning, and I think 5 of them have come with 2 outs.
So here with nobody out, Garco at a disadvantage. 1-2 now from Homer Bailey. Holds off that pitch. 2-2. Garc also with 18 runs batted in his last 28 games that he's had an at bat. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one away.
Well, Garco, one of those guys that can get rolling when it comes to RBIs, given the right situations. Tied with the team lead last year at 90.
And always seems to hit well with runners in scoring position. This year he's batting .317.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get better. I mean, he hasn't been himself, but when he gets into a good groove, he goes the other way. He battles with 2 strikes.
Played off that breaking pitch, and now the count full to Ryan Garco. He's wearing that wrist guard as Travis Hafner waits on deck. Garco's wrist still bothering him a little bit. Waste that pitch.
That's what you do. That's how good hitters stay alive. That was not a bad fastball. Garco just flicks it, fouls it off, stays alive. Watch, it's going to be away on the outside edge. That's an excellent pitch, and he just is quick enough to foul it off. There's not much you could do with it. You put it in play, you probably just a little weak grounder.
So again, the payoff pitch. And again, ball hit foul and into the chairs over on the first base side. Good crowd here tonight once again.
I'd say it's right
Bleachers
around the 30 mark again. Maybe a little better.
You see all the fans here. Some Reds fans here as well.
Yeah, they were here early when I was coming to the ballpark. You could see them walking around downtown Cleveland.
Well, we've had 2 gorgeous nights for baseball here downtown. And ball 4 to Ryan Garco.
Good
That's a nice walk.
Yep. Yeah, that really is. Wow, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You got to love a throw like this. Watch the double clutch all the way in the air. Victor's going to block that plate, and that stopped it from having a 5-run inning. I mean, you don't look at it as a big play. That's a big play. He almost lost that ball out of his glove and still able to throw a strike. And Hairston can run pretty well. He's above average.
Absolutely.
He went up to tag the plate. Sorry, I got you the first time you went by.
The way Chu throws is so textbook, Rick. It's on a line in the air. There's no rainbow to his throw at all.
No. Well, just someday, if you're a fan and you get into the ballpark early, watch Chu warm up. I'm going to tell you something. The guy, when he loosens up in long tosses, he can throw from the warning track to the foul line, which is well over 350 feet without any effort. I mean, and he long tosses every day. It's amazing to watch this guy throw. Yes. One of the few guys in this game that has an outstanding arm. He's a very good all-around player, period.
And there's those assists.
6 assists, yeah. Markakis has 8 in Baltimore as a right fielder, but they're going to quit running on him at the second half of the year. You watch.
Hafner the batter with an 0-1 count, now 1-1. The thing with Chu, and the Indians have had some decent right fielders over the years, but the one that comes to mind is the most recent player with an arm like that was Corey Snyder.
Yeah.
And
recent?
The most recent.
80?
Yeah.
In the 80s?
All right, maybe I'm getting older, too.
Yes, you are. Yeah, but you're right. Corey Snyder had a cannon.
Hafner hits that one to second. Phillips, Soleil, into right field it goes. Garco will stop at second. And now the Indians get their first 2 runners aboard here with nobody out.
Well, that's one of those plays, do or die. If you catch it, it's a double play. If you don't, it's a base hit. I mean, it was hit right on the nose, and Phillips is going to go to the side. And just because he goes to the side, don't let that fool you. That ball was hit hard, had spin on it, gets by him. So Garco will move up, and that should be the first Indians hit.
It is for Travis Hafner. So the Indians now in business with runners at first and second and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Johnny Peralta to the plate. He looks at a ball from Bailey for his first pitch. Now Johnny has hit better against right-handers this year than left-handers as you take a look at his overall numbers. Against lefties this year, he's batting only .210, but against righties, .271 with 3 of his 4 home runs. And he has a 1-0 count here. With runners in scoring position, he's batting .274, and now 2-0. So Homer Bailey having a little trouble here in the second inning, as Tomo Oka did in the top half for the Tribe. 4-0 Reds. They scored 4 in the top of this inning. The Indians trying to answer here. Johnny Peralta has a hit in 29 of his last 41 games. Hitters count here. Now 3-0. Luis Valbuena is on deck.
Exactly what you want to do. After they put a big number on your board, it's always important for that pitcher to go out and put a 0 up. Well, the Indians have an opportunity now to get back and at least put something on the board. Good count here for Peralta, so take a strike, if not 2.
Ball 4.
Don't have to.
Bailey couldn't find it to Peralta, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Second walk of the inning already for Bailey. Here comes Dick Pohl, the pitching coach for the Reds, and while he heads to the mound, let's go back to our Ford Update Desk for the first time tonight. Check in with Dave Chanowski. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Al, we got the Cubs at the White Sox. Yesterday, the Cubs got them. Today, the White Sox get some revenge. Bottom of 9, Gordon Beckham. The base hit, that brings in Josh Fields. White Sox win it 8-7 the final. Back to you.
Thanks, Dave. And Gordon Beckham, the highly touted rookie for the Chicago White Sox. When we were there, Rick, he came up the day before we got into town against Oakland, took an 0-for against Oakland, an 0-for against the Indians. But now he gets the game-winning hit today.
Yeah, he's going to be a good young player. He's only drafted a year ago. And he's playing a position that he's normally a shortstop. He's playing third base, so that could have something to do with his offense.
Came up 364 days after he was drafted in the first round of the 08 draft. So now Luis Valbuena here with the bases loaded and nobody out. Third baseman is in, everybody else back on the Reds infield, and it's ball 1 to Valbuena. So 5 straight balls from Homer Bailey. And the Indians with a golden opportunity here in the second to do some damage. There's a strike. 1-1. Luis Valbuena this year just 3 for 24 with runners in scoring position. 125 is the average. Does have a homer and 6 runs batted in.
Well, for him, just make sure Bailey's got to get the ball down. Valbuena is a good low ball hitter. He could have problems if he tries to swing at that 95 belt or above.
A 1-1. Bounces that one up the middle. Could be 2. It is, and a run will score. So no RBI for Valbuena. So the play was made by Paul Janisch at short. Double play, 6-3. So the Indians get a run as Garco comes in. Hafner will move to third. And Johnny Peralta cut down at second on the double play. So 2 away with the runner at third. You know, the Gathering Place supports, educates, and empowers individuals and families touched by cancer. They do this free of charge from 2 locations, Beechwood and Westlake. This season, Matt and Rick will donate $5 each, and Great Clips will donate $50 for every Indians home run to this great organization. The total year to date now is $5,040. If you'd like more information, visit them on the web, touchedbycancer.org. Now Ben Francisco hitting in the 9-hole tonight, getting the start. 2 outs and a runner on third. Hits that one to right center. Dickerson and Bruce converging, and it's Bruce to make the catch. So the Indians get 1 back here in the second inning, but still trail by 3. We'll go to the third after this. Go to the third. We've done the broadcaster swap as we've switched out Rick Manning for Fox Sports Ohio broadcaster Chris Welsh. Good to see you, Chris.
How great to see you. Thanks for having me over here.
Hey, no problem at all.
I think you got the short end of the deal.
Not at all. Not at all. We like Rick Manning, but we like you too. Lance Nix will lead it off here in the top of the third. He walked back in the first inning. And it's strike there, so 1-1 to Lance Nix. So, Chris, 4 runs tonight in the second inning for the Reds. Really got to Tomo Oka last inning.
You know what? That's a major output for the Reds. They've struggled so much on their offense this year. They're not used to that kind of crooked number.
It's Lance Nix drilling one to the right field corner. Chu coming up, firing to second. Nix will get the double. as Shin-Soo Choo again shows off that cannon.
Well, he does have a cannon, too, doesn't he, Al? I think that Jerry Hairston was amazed to be thrown out at home plate in the last inning the way he was. And even after Chu bobbled the ball a little bit, breaking ball right there, kind of a hanger, a low and inside. Lance Nix loves him just like most every left-handed hitter. The wheelhouse is low and in, and he drills it down the line.
So now Nix is on second base with nobody out here in the third. And Johnny Gomes to the plate, who hit a hard grounder to short. His last time up back in the first inning, but Valbuena was able to retire him to get out of it. Gomes swings at the first pitch. It's that one to center. Sizemore going over. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Nix. He'll go to third and make it safely. So Gomes an out, and Nix to third. And boy, that Johnny Gomes, he's hit a couple of balls. They were outs tonight, but Chris, he's been probably your hottest hitter this month.
He has. In the last 6 games, he's hitting over 600 or 500, and he's a guy that really has tried to get some playing time. Unfortunately for Gomes, he's a right-handed hitter in that left-handed, right-handed left field platoon system, but the Reds have been running into a lot of lefties lately. And they'll see another one tomorrow, so Gomes will be back again in the lineup. But right now, Dusty Baker just trying to play the hot hand.
Infield in, but that ball lifted to the outfield by Jay Bruce. Francisco will make the catch. Nix tagging. Here's the throw home. Going to be close, but Martinez can't hang on. Safe is the runner there. Lance Nix scoring Cincinnati's 5th run. Now 5-1 Reds.
Well, you can see that the Reds are taking every shot possible to get a run in because their offense has struggled so mightily this year that anytime you get an option for even a controversial play at the plate, it's going to be close. The ball wasn't deep. You have Francisco coming in hard, and Mark Berry's going to send him. I mean, Johnny Gomes is no burner. If that throw is anywhere near the money, he's out. It would have been the second inning in a row that you have a runner thrown out the plate. But the Reds don't care. They're just trying to run as they possibly can to get a run in whenever they can.
So 2 outs now, nobody on for Ryan Hannigan at the plate. If you get a look at Lance Nix. 5-1 Cincinnati as they get the run back that the Indians scored in the second. That pitch a strike from Tomo Oka. Chris, you were talking about how the Reds are trying to do different things to score. Last night we saw a hit and run by Dusty Baker. We saw him trying to get something going even when the score was 5-0 and 7-0. So anything to provide a spark?
Well, this is real National League baseball. I mean, a.k.a. small ball. They don't have a lot of home run hitters. I mean, he's used to in his managerial career. When he managed the Giants, he had Barry Bonds. When he managed the Chicago Cubs, he had Sammy Sosa. When he came over here his first year, Dusty Baker had Adam Dunn and Ken Griffey Jr. So this year, with really out any legitimate home run hitter, yes, you have Jay Bruce who has 18 home runs now. That's pretty good, but he doesn't have a Barry Bonds in the lineup here, so he's had to do a lot of things that he's not used to doing.
That pitch driven to left center field there by Hannigan, coming on Francisco,
nice
and he
play.
makes the catch. So Francisco gets the last out of the third inning. Reds get another, though. They're up 5-1. Middle of the third at Progressive Field. Cincinnati 5-1. Carroll, Sizemore, and Martinez in the battle for Ohio. And, of course, tonight is also our I-71 Challenge. The Indians' 3 players that you voted on. The fantasy game, Sizemore, Martinez, and Chu. For the Reds, Votto, Phillips, and Hannigan. Chris Welsh joining us in the booth. And Chris, you guys are up 5-0 right now in that fantasy challenge.
Well, I'm not sure how that happened because the Reds are barely 5 up on anybody at any one time, but they picked the right night during our I-71 fantasy challenge to get off to a good start.
They sure have. And I understand you got a lot of texts in reply to choose your team, huh?
We do have a very popular text messaging right from their pregame show on. I voted for a couple of different players. I actually wanted Joey Votto and Jay Bruce, who's already hit a home run, to be on there. But evidently, I got outvoted. My vote against the 47,000 that we received during our pregame show, I guess, just didn't count.
Yeah, and I mean that would have been a good choice with Jay Bruce as you get a look at the scoreboard there. So it's 5-0 Reds in the fantasy game, 5-1 here in the real one. A 1-1 count to Carroll, who fouls it away to make it 1-2.
Now, the way I understand it, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, is that if we win, you and Rick Manning take George Grand and myself out to breakfast tomorrow in the media dining room. You serve us breakfast. If we want more coffee, you go get more coffee. Want an extra Danish to go, you take care of that for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Is that the way you understand it?
That's the way I understood it. And I think we're going to Morton's if we win, right? You guys are taking
I
us
got
there?
you. All
For the
right.
brunch?
What time tomorrow morning do they open?
I think 10 or 11. We'll give them a call. I'm sure they'll be ready for us. Now Tim McClellan with the discussion with Jamie Carroll. Not sure what that was about. 40th pitch of the night for Homer Bailey. Carroll laces that one right to the shortstop. Janisch collects it. So Carroll is out number 1. And here's how the Cincinnati Reds, Chris, have scored their 5 points. That's a single. That's worth 1 for Hannigan. There you go. This will
we'll score Hannigan,
in.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
So he gets 2. And Votto gets the RBI here. 2 more. So that's how the Reds have 5 and the Indians still have 0.
You know,
the fantasy challenge.
Al, it's a pretty simple format, and I get that. 1 run or 1 point for a single, a double, and so on. Where's the pitching? As a former pitcher,
yes.
I think I'm ready to lodge an official complaint to the powers that be as to why we don't have some kind of a pitching in this.
We'll do that. And as a guy who used to pitch for the Rangers, who came in and loved pitching at Old Municipal Stadium in front of what? 3,000 people, I think.
Well, including the ushers. That way, if you had a bad day, hardly anybody noticed.
A very good point.
The Rangers were not a big draw back then.
Really? What'd you guys have? Pete O'Brien was there?
We had Pete O'Brien in that ball club. Buddy Bell actually was on our club until he was traded back to Cincinnati. Right. And, of course, Buddy and I were both Cincinnati natives. In fact, the year that I pitched for the Reds in 1986, we had 6 players that went to high school in Cincinnati on the field at the same time, Buddy being one of them.
3-0 here to Grady Sizemore with 1 away and nobody out in the 3rd inning.
Didn't get any better than that guy.
That's the true definition of a hometown team, though.
It
guys
was.
Back in the mid-80s.
Unfortunately, at that time, we ended up in 2nd place. They cleaned house, and I was one of the ones that was first ushered out the door.
You went to San Diego, right?
No, from there I was actually released, and that was really marked the end of my major league career. I ended up trying to make a comeback with the Orioles, but it was short-lived.
All right.
It forced me up here in the broadcast booth where the game certainly looks easy from up here. You know what they say, the further you get from the dirt, the easier the game is.
That's what everybody says. And, it seems, too, that the longer between, it seems you get to see so much more. So you get to see the same trends repeating themselves over and over again.
You do, but the best part of our job, Al, and I'm sure that the more you're into it, you'll realize it, is that we get to go on the field and talk to both teams, to coaches from both ends, to go into both clubhouses. So if you have a visiting player that you've admired for a long time and you want to go talk to him, you can do that. If you're a major league coach for the Indians, say you're Carl Willis, you can't go over and talk to Joey Votto or Aaron Harang or anybody else that you want to talk to. You've got to wait to see him, outside official duty. But that's one of the great things that broadcasters are allowed to do.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Things would have been strange if in 85 you went over to the Indians clubhouse and was looking for Jerry Brown or something like that. You don't want to.
You could have come over to the Rangers clubhouse. There would nobody been there.
So here's Victor Martinez with Grady Sizemore on first base. 1 away here in the 3rd inning. Tribe down by 4. Victor sends that one sky high to short right center field. Reds players converging. It'll be the center fielder, Dickerson, to make the catch. 2 away now. And a little fly out.
Boy, Victor Martinez really loves that first pitch fastball, doesn't he? I mean, there's scouting reports out on everybody, but, if you were to talk to some of the advanced scouts that are here today, and I think there's about 5 or 6 of them here, you'll find out that the Indians are by far one of the most prolific first pitch fastball hitting teams out there. Now, they've got a pretty good offense this year, they're 4th or so in the American League in runs scored. So they can put the runs on the board. But boy, oh boy, I don't know if there's anybody that loves to jump on that first heater more than Victor.
And he did that there. Now Shin-Soo Choo, the batter, with 2 away and Sizemore at first base. Shin-Soo Choo, Chris, has been one of those players that we've been talking about as he spun out of the way there on a Homer Bailey fastball. One of those players you can bat just about anywhere in the order. He's settled into cleanup here, but he's got speed, he's got power, he's got a good eye, he hits for average, really. 1 through 4, anywhere in the lineup you could bat a guy like this.
Well, you know what? He's turned into a terrific all-around player. I mean, he's got 12 stolen bases, hasn't been thrown out, an absolute steal that the Indians got from the Seattle Mariners in exchange for Ben Broussard.
Indeed.
Boy, figure that one out.
Well, in that same year, Eduardo Perez for Asdrubal Cabrera.
That's
another one.
That's a pretty good quinella.
Yeah, to say the least. So Shin-Soo Choo with a 1-1 count. Homer Bailey, Chris, what is his key to becoming a solid pitcher up here at the major league level?
Well, mentally, he has to adjust from the minor league game to the big league game, and he puts up terrific numbers down in the minors. He got bounded around pretty badly by the Indians last time he faced them. And, oddly enough, here it comes back to face the Indians again. But in the meantime, he went down and pitched 6 starts down in the minor leagues for the Louisville Bats in the International League. He went 5-0 with an earned run average of 0.8. If you do that in AAA, you're doing something right. But for some reason or another, things tighten up in between the ears for Homer Bailey when he makes the big league mound. And sometimes it's a tidying up of the strike zone, which I think is smaller here than it is in the minor leagues. But it might be the bigger crowds and the bigger venue, and that until he gets used to that, he'll be battling that.
1-2 to Choo as he fouls another one away.
I mean, he's got plenty of good stuff. I mean, here he is. That last pitch by the stadium radar gun was 97 miles an hour. That is plenty fast enough to win in the major leagues. Now, but the story on Homer is, he came from a very small town in Texas. His dad is a chicken rancher. He grew up with 50,000 chickens, his neighbors. And he was obviously the best kid in the county as far as pitching. And when the Reds got him, everybody heard about Homer Bailey, and they thought that he should be in the big leagues right away. And I think that they may have rushed him up a little bit. He was not mentally ready, and I think that he's now just beginning to settle in. He's a little more comfortable with being a big leaguer, with being in the spotlight, with how to handle the press and how to handle the pressure of actually pitching in front of 40,000 people.
That's about the third time already, too, we've seen his catcher, Ryan Hannigan, go out there and talk to him. It doesn't seem like they're on the same page tonight with the pitch selection.
Well, I'll tell you why. Ryan Hannigan caught him all last year down in AAA. So Hannigan knows him very well, but Homer Bailey's a different pitcher. In his last time down in the minor leagues, he came up with a new pitch. He worked with a young pitcher down there named Justin Lair, who taught him how to throw a splitter. And now they want to figure out how to use that splitter and when to throw it, like right there.
That was in the dirt. Sizemore quickly on his way down to second. He'll get there. So he'll move up into scoring position with 2 outs, and now a 2-2 count on Shin-Soo Choo.
You know what happens sometimes when you get a young high school pitcher like Homer Bailey, a #1 draft pick. The first year he's in the system, it's hands off. No one's allowed to touch him. No one's allowed to change him. What worked for him down in high school is going to allow him to do that. But sometimes that sets you back a year. So then they finally get him to the big leagues last year, and he was always a fastball curveball pitcher. They said, Homer, from now on you're going to be a sinker ball slider pitcher. You're not allowed to throw a curveball. So that didn't help him out very much. He finally went down this year, found himself, and I think the reason why he came up with that splitter. And if he can throw that splitter for a strike or close to being a strike, he's going to be successful. He's got plenty of stuff here to pitch here.
Yeah, he's got the tools. You can see that. Got some great stuff. Now the 2-2 to Choo. It's outside for a ball, and the count goes full. Chris, obviously you made that transition from the minors to the majors. Some guys can always pitch well at AAA. They get to the major league level, and they're just inconsistent and never figure it out. For you, what was the key to figuring it out and being able to stay up here?
Well, it was always a battle for me. I only had 5 years in the major leagues overall. I did pitch a few shutouts and some complete games, but it's all about commanding your fastball and not worrying about who's at the plate. Don't worry about the number or the name on the uniform. Go after the strike zone like you did down in the minor leagues. And that is walk number 5 for Homer. How about that?
Yeah, Shin-Soo Choo will trot down to first. So now the Indians with runners at first and second. 2 away here in the third inning, down 5-1. And Ryan Garko, who walked and scored the second inning, will come to the plate. And Ryan Garko, as we talked about earlier, pretty good with runners in scoring position, batting .317.
You know, an interesting story, Al, is that before Homer Bailey was permitted to start throwing a split finger pitch down the minor leagues, they had to get permission from Dick Pohl, the major league pitching coach, and the minor league pitching coordinator. So they called Mac Jenkins, the coordinator. They called Dick Pohl, and they both said, fine, as long as he can throw his fastball for a strike, we'll let him come up with a new pitch. His next outing, he threw 75% strikes with his fastball. Tonight, it's about 15%.
Garko checks there. They'll appeal at first base. Andy Fletcher says he did not go, so it's 1-0 to Ryan Garko.
And I really think it can all be translated back to nerves. I mean, he's so anxious to make a good impression. He went down there and he really pitched his behind off to get himself back here. And he wants to get it all done in the first inning. And he's overthrowing the ball. He's not staying within his game plan, and that's why he's been in constant trouble.
Already 54 pitches tonight for Bailey. 26 for strikes. Garko set a pitch over the plate there. It's now 1-1. And you talked about how the pitching coach has to talk to the pitching coordinator. Do you think in today's game there's a little too much of that instead of just letting the guys going out there and playing?
Well, there can be – everybody has to substantiate their own existence, so to say. So I think it's important that everybody is on the same page. But, yeah, do they meet too much? Is there too much in the way of scouting reports? Is everything that they hear, nowadays, I mean, it's easier to get a CIA secret than it is to, get the scouting report on an outfielder's arm. So, there are so many more things available to fans. There are so many websites, and MLB.com, you can watch any game at any time and do your own scouting if you want. But I think that they have overdone it a little bit. And I don't think a lot of these guys, especially the better athletes, can handle it.
Yeah.
I think the better player you have, the simpler you have to keep things.
That's a great point. 1-2 to Garco. It's low and outside, 2-2.
Well, that was last one is at 98. Boy, I think you may have a juiced-up gun here in Cleveland. But I don't know if Homer Bailey throws 98. I do know he throws anywhere from 93 to 95. Setting him up right here probably for a splitter. Look for the splitter and a possible strikeout if he throws it right.
We'll see what happens on the 2-2 pitch. There it was. He got Garco. Good pitch. Strikeout for Bailey. Second of the night. Chris, thanks for stopping by. The time went so quick.
Well, thank you, Al. It was a quick inning. Sorry the Indians couldn't have scored more. We'll check you out later on. I'm looking forward to that breakfast.
It sounds good. Fourth inning here at Progressive Field. Tribe trailing the Reds 5-1 as we'll see hitters 9-1-2 in the Cincinnati batting order. Another gorgeous night tonight for a ball game in downtown Cleveland. It'll be Paul Janisch, Chris Dickerson, Jerry Hairston. As it's 2-0 now to Janisch.
Al, did you miss me?
Immensely.
I know you did. Well, I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
I was traded for an inning.
Glad to have you. Although we did enjoy the time with Chris. Had an interesting take on Homer Bailey and what he's had to go through in his career now trying to get things worked out here at the major league level. And he talked about that split finger that you and I were talking about and how important that pitch is to him now. And a new pitch for him.
As I said over there, for him that's an important pitch, but he's got to pitch ahead in the count to get to that pitch.
3-1 now. Pitch fouled away by Janisch, who singled and scored back in the second inning.
He's lucky to be where he's at, where he's struck out walked 5.
Yeah. 5 walks, 2 strikeouts for Bailey. His pitch count is up there, and so is Tomo Oka's. He's thrown 66 pitches here. He's got a full count to Paul Janisch. That pitch off the inside corner. So it's ball 4. So the leadoff batter again.
Well, you see, I'm back already because I got to talk about as the series continues tomorrow here at Progressive Field. All kids 14 and under are going to receive a slider bank. Gary, coach, took about 6 of these home tonight for the neighborhood. Also, Kids Fun Day. You'll be able to run the bases after the ball game and at pregame be around the plaza and have a ball. So if you see Gary's car pulling in the neighborhood tomorrow, go get it.
Uncle Gary.
Yeah, Uncle Gary.
It's a foul ball for Chris Dickerson. Here's Paul Janisch out at first base now for Cincinnati. So the Reds ahead by 4 and trying to start another big inning here. They scored 4 runs in the second, 1 in the third. Reds now with 5 runs on 7 hits. The Indians with 1 run on 1 hit. Chris Dickerson tonight, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Tomo Oka will keep Janisch close at first base. Now the 0-1 pitch, fouled away. Chris Dickerson has the distinction of being the only Red to pitch in a game this year. That's a position player. Gave up 5 runs, but
well, that's okay. I mean, anybody, think about it. When you have an opportunity, it's a blowout to begin with.
Right.
Now, just to walk out there is not easy to do, and you're at the major league level. I wouldn't do it, even if you think you know how to pitch.
Did you ever get that chance?
David
Garcia ever say, hey?
No, it wasn't with the Indians. I think we were with the Brewers. I said, I'm not going out there. Those guys hit it too hard.
Who
Forget
did?
about it.
Did anybody go out there?
I'm sure there's always somebody that'll go out there.
Jose Canseco, he could blow out his elbow or whatever he did that time he tried it.
Yeah, but there's guys, let's say like Swisher this year, and he struck out somebody, when he was down in Tampa, pitched an inning, scoreless.
Well, Tim Laker here with the Indians.
Yeah, there's always guys that want to go out and be a pitcher.
Seems pitchers always want to bat, and batters always want to pitch.
Isn't that the truth? Everybody wants to do something they're not capable of doing.
That pitch just a little low to Dickerson. Evens the count now at 2-2. Chris Dickerson started in left field last night. He's made 20 starts in left, 13 in center. Fouls that one away.
Well, let's start our birthday list tonight. I want to send out a very happy birthday to Gary Underwood, Matt's dad. His birthday today. They may be out eating somewhere, but Gary, happy birthday to you. Margaret McBride of Huron, turning 97. Margaret, happy birthday.
Happy birthday indeed. So a 2-2 count on Chris Dickerson. There's the runner at first, Paul Janisch. Oka's been deliberate tonight once runners have gotten on base. Dickerson hits that one towards first, but it's foul. Tomo Oka's full name is Tomokazu. Born in Kyoto, Japan. He's only the second Japanese pitcher to ever amass 1,000 innings pitched. Hideo Nomo was the other.
Well, he was one of the first guys to come over here before they brought their trainers, and their specialists and everybody they bring with them. So he sort of paved the way for some of those guys.
Came over in the late 90s. Good sinking pitch there, but Dickerson able to lay off. And now the count is full. Pretty good at bat for Chris Dickerson.
Well, this is he's had 4 full counts so far tonight, but then 3 times he has walked guys.
It's that one on the ground, and it will make it into the hole. Around second and on his way to third is Janisch. He'll make it easily. And now the Reds have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the 4th inning. So the second hit of the night for Dickerson.
Well, and that goes to show you the hole over there when you have a man on first base, a little breaking ball. You don't have to get much of it to get it through the hole. The Reds now first and third and really threatening to open this one wide out.
And Rick, that looked like a fork ball from Oka, not even a split finger, but a fork ball, not much rotation on it.
Well, I don't know what it's thrown, but he hasn't. That one was a breaking ball. It was down. I mean, he was able to get it in the hole, but he hasn't fooled many Reds tonight. They've had very good swings.
Jerry Hairston fouls that one off. Hairston is 2 for 2 tonight. Single and a double. Also has a run batted in. We're also doing our I-71 challenge tonight with fantasy players you chose from the Indians.
We're down 5-zip.
We are.
I know that.
The Reds fans chose theirs. They're in the driver's seat at the moment. That one's fouled away. So 0-2 now to Jerry Hairston Jr.
All right, he's 0-2 again. Oka has had 6 counts of 0-2 or 1-2 on the hitters so far. This is the 6th. They're 5 for 5 with a walk.
Wow.
So he hasn't been able to put anyone away. And, I mean, that's what you strive for as a pitcher, to get ahead in the counts, and then you expand the zone, make them work. It hasn't worked tonight for him.
Big reason why this ball game is 5-1 Reds. And, again, they have runners at first and third and nobody out here in the 4th inning. That pitch outside, 1-2 to Hairston. Reds with 5 runs on 8 hits. They've left 3. The Indians 1 run on 1 hit. They left 4 on base. The 1-2 pitch, but first a fake throw to third. I think I've seen that work one time since I've been watching Major League Baseball.
You did?
One time.
Do you remember when?
No, about 4 years ago.
I know who was the guy on first base.
You do?
Yeah, it was against the
you
Indians.
Remember it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Manny Ramirez. It had to be.
Would make sense. Here's a grounder to short. Should be 2. Valbuena to Carroll to Garco. The double play there, but a run scores for Cincinnati. They go ahead 6-1 as Giannis comes in. But now there are 2 away with nobody on. Time now for our Subway fresh face of the game, and let's go down to Double-A Akron and check in with Hector Rondon. Last night a 3-1 victory against Binghamton. He went 5 2/3 of shutout baseball, gave up just 2 hits. You see his numbers in his last 3 starts, hasn't given up a run. He's now 7-4 on the season, a 2.59 ERA. And we're going to be out of this inning here as Joey Votto grounds out to second. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. But Cincinnati now their largest lead of 5, 6-1 here in downtown Cleveland. It'll be Hafner, Peralta, and Valbuena here in the bottom of the 4th inning as you look in at Progressive Field from our Panini Scan atop the ballpark. Drive down 6-1. And Homer Bailey working into his 4th inning here. He's throwing 58 pitches tonight, half of them for strikes. As Travis Hafner looks at a ball just outside. However, he's been in the stretch to 10 of 14 hitters tonight, Rick, so the Indians have had some pressure on him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's had pressure on himself. He walked 5 guys.
And now he's 2-0 to Travis Hafner.
1 in the first. He walked 2 in the second and 2 in the third.
So even though Tomo Oka's been struggling tonight, and the Indians are down by 5, Bailey hasn't been lights out.
No, well, a hit here or there, and,
Yep.
He's walked 5, but he's given up just 1 run. Of course, this is a tough way to hit because the only hit was Hafner's single, and that was back in the 2nd inning after the leadoff walk. You remember Phillips tried to backhand catch it, got by him. They had runners at 1st and 2nd, and that's when they scored.
3-0 to Hafner.
But, man, you got to make this guy get it in the zone.
A strike there, so 3-1 now to Pronk. Homer Bailey, a native of Texas. His real name is David, but so is his dad's. So he took his grandfather's name, Homer, to make it easier to differentiate between dad and son. There's a high ball on the short left field area. Paul Giannis there. He'll collect it for out number 1.
Well, visit any of the Northeast Ohio Indians team shop locations, including the new team shop at the Strip in North Canton, down in Tommy Boat Country. That's Indians Team Shop, your source for game tickets and authentic Indians merchandise.
So now Johnny Peralta with 1 away and nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bailey delivers a ball outside. So 1-0 to Peralta. And once again, we see Hannigan go out to the mound to talk to Homer Bailey. I think that's the 4th time tonight, Rick.
This guy wouldn't be fun to catch. He's got a good arm, but, I mean, it's nice when you have guys that can throw strikes and you can just sit back there like you're in a little rocking chair. This guy, you got to be ready.
There's a strike. 1-1 to Johnny Peralta. Breaking pitch fouled away, so 1-2. Yeah, Homer Bailey's a guy that likes the outdoors. He said when he was growing up as a kid, didn't play video games, didn't do much inside. He said when I was bored, my parents told me, hey, go outside and find something to do. So he's an avid hunter. Likes to hunt wild boar.
Well, good for him.
Up the middle. Base hit for Johnny Peralta. Tribe's 2nd hit of the evening. Now the Indians with 1 on and 1 out here in the 4th inning. And with that wild boar hunter, he likes to keep a tusk collection. Also says he eats everything he catches. So we get a look here again. Man, this one close.
He eats wild boar?
Said he'll eat whatever he hunts. Said he eats everything. Thinks it's a waste to let anything go.
Okay.
So whatever it is, he said, sometimes he'll get a number of animals. He hunts deer. Said he'll give it to people just so it goes to use. Luis Valbuena now. Looks at strike one on the outside corner. Valbuena grounded into a double play back in the second inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, so he got the run home. Of course, does not get the RBI in that situation. It's been the Indians' only run tonight. That one gets away from the catcher Hannigan. Down to second goes Peralta. Now the Indians with a runner in scoring position and one out here in the fourth. He talked about it not being fun to catch Homer Bailey tonight.
Yeah,
I don't think Ryan Hannigan's had a good time.
Well, you're sitting away. He's sitting away, and this ball's way down and in. When you miss by 2 to 3 feet with your target, you got to be on your toes at all times. That is not the second wild pitch of the night. This is not a pitching clinic.
No, it certainly is not. The 1-1 pitch to Valbuena. Swung and missed at a pitch upstairs, now 1-2.
See, that's the pitch where Valbuena's got to learn to lay off because he's a good low ball hitter. And when you chase a pitch up there for him, you're doing the pitcher a favor.
Valbuena just 3 for 25 with runners in scoring position this year. There's Peralta at second. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one away. Homer Bailey now at 71 pitches. 37 for strikes. He's thrown 13 pitches here in the fourth inning. So I don't think come the late innings, Rick, we're going to see either Oka or Bailey on the mound.
No, this will be turned over to the bullpens long before that.
Again, the 1-2. That pitch low, so 2-2 now to Luis Valbuena. Again, getting the short start at shortstop tonight for the Tribe. Well, the Indians have gotten some middle infielders from the Seattle organization over the years, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Omar Vizquel, Luis Valbuena, of course. Asdrubal Cabrera. I'd call Seattle and see if they got anybody else that they'd like to send our way. And you look at what the Indians have given up for these guys. Felix Fermin and Reggie Jefferson and $800,000 for Vizquel. That was back before the '94 season. For Asdrubal Cabrera, it cost you Eduardo Perez,
who's out of baseball and was about a year after.
For
Broussard.
Yeah, 3-team deal. Luis Valbuena came for Ricky Gutierrez. So he lines that one on one hop to short. Giannis will keep Peralta at second and throw out Valbuena for the second out. Now, Gutierrez could be a help for Seattle, and he's doing okay this year. But we'll see how this one turns out as we move along. All right, time for the All Care Dental and Dentures Smiling Easy Cam. Plenty of smiles today. This has been a gorgeous night for a game. More smiles on Reds fans tonight than Indians fans, though. Their team's ahead 6-1. All Care Dental and Dentures. We make seeing the dentist easy. So 2 outs now. Peralta still at second base. And Ben Francisco the batter. He looks at a ball. He flew out his first time up back in the second inning. Francisco's average now down to .229. Although with runners in scoring position this year, Francisco's done okay, batting .262. Looks at that pitch in the dirt for ball 2. Homer Bailey was the 2004 Baseball America High School Player of the Year. Quite an honor. Not just in Texas, across the country. Now the 2-0 pitch coming to Francisco. That's up high, 3-0 now. There's Peralta at second. That pitch up high, ball 4. So Bailey walks Francisco on 4 consecutive pitches, his 6th walk of the night. And now the Indians once again, runners at first and second, 2 outs for the 2nd inning in a row. And back to the top of the order we go with Jamie Carroll.
Well, he had 6 walks in his last start against the Indians, May 23rd. That came in 4 1/3 innings. They were able to get him for some runs, though. They got 6 runs. Tonight he's walked 6 in 3 2/3. They haven't been able to get the key hit to do any damage to him. And plus the early 4-run second certainly staked him to a big lead. And they've been able to add on.
Jamie Carroll's 0 for 1 tonight. He walked back in the first inning, was cut down on the classic 8-4-6 fielder's choice when Martinez hit that fly ball to center that it appeared Chris Dickerson made the catch on, but they said that he didn't. So he dropped it and threw it in. Carroll was already heading back to first base. Then he lined out in the 3rd inning to the shortstop. The 0-1 pitch. That went in the dirt, but Hannigan able to hold on to it. Boy, he's had a long night. It's already the 4th inning. That's it. I mean, he looks like a guy that's been through 8 or 9 innings.
Well, you can bet he won't be in there tomorrow. Hernandez will be back in that day game. This guy will be in the ice tub. He's all over the place.
Cleveland 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. And 1 for 9 hitting with runners on base.
Well, this is where they scored 6 runs last night, is with 2 outs. And all you need is that first one to get you going, and that could open the doors to possibly a very big inning. But you got to get the first one.
It's 2-1 now to Jamie Carroll. Peralta at second base. Francisco at first. Little high, little inside. 3-1 now to Jamie Carroll. Homer Bailey is in danger of walking his 7th hitter tonight. Grady Sizemore on deck. He would be next. His former Indians pitching coach, Dick
Did you
Pohl.
see the look on his face?
Doesn't look happy.
You got to be kidding me. Because he knows he's going to have to throw Carroll 2 strikes, not 1. He won't swing.
Well, he threw him a ball. So Carroll walks. Indians have him loaded now for Grady Sizemore.
Boy, oh boy. I mean to tell you, 1 hit here and they're right back in it.
And Sizemore has really been hitting the ball well this week since his comeback from the DL. He lined out back in the 1st inning. He walked in the 3rd, but even his outs have been loud.
Well, let's clean up our birthday wishes. Richard Halen of Alliance turning 74. Mike Vogt of Bellefontaine is 59. And Megan Venice of Lyndhurst is 11. Happy birthday to each and every one of you. And let us send out a very happy 50th anniversary to Peggy and David Cool, lifelong Indians fans celebrating 50 years of marriage. Congratulations.
Yep, congratulations. Thanks for enjoying the Indians all these years. So here's Grady Sizemore. He's on a 7-game hitting streak and hitting .241 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 1 tonight, but hit it sharply back in the 1st. And he hits that one sharply to right. That's in there for a base hit. 1 run home. Here comes Francisco around second. The play at the plate. Francisco safe. Indians score 2. They've made it 6-3.
Well, Grady jumped all over that first pitch, figuring, okay, the pitching coach goes out. He's going to tell him get ahead in the count. And Grady normally doesn't swing at a lot of first pitches, but he jumps on that one. So give Grady the single, and they finally make Homer Bailey pay for the walks.
So Grady Sizemore comes through with 2 outs and the bases loaded, delivers this laser beam single to right, scores 2. Carroll went to 3rd. So the Indians now with runners at the corners and 2 away And Rick, most importantly for you, I know, Grady Sizemore just gave us some fantasy points in the I-71 challenge.
Well,
I know that
that's 4 points, 5 of them with the base hit, and so we may have a tie score. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm thinking about the real game. Forget that fantasy game.
That's why I reminded you.
Well, thanks. There's still 2 outs. I'm worried about another hit here, and they got Victor, too.
And he can get some more fantasy points.
Well, you keep that one, then. I'll keep score of the real game. You keep the fantasy game.
They're telling me in my ear.
That figures. You notice they're not telling me.
Oh, boy. So here's Vic with runners at the corners. Grounded into a fielder's choice, or actually flew into a fielder's choice back in the first inning. We explained that to you earlier with Jamie Carroll cut down at second. He flew out to center back in the third. He's down 0-1 here. Homer Bailey now at 85 pitches. And Dan Herrera getting loose in the Reds bullpen here in the fourth inning. As the Indians have gotten back into it with 2 home to make it 6-3 and an opportunity still to score more. And this is the man they want at the plate. Victor Martinez coming into tonight batting .354 with runners in scoring position. He takes the ball there from Homer Bailey. Now the question is, Rick, how much longer do you go with Bailey?
Well, Bailey may be right for this hitter because the left-hander's sitting on deck for Chew. So if he gives up a hit, possibly a walk, he'll be out of the ball game because Dusty Baker doesn't care about the win. He wants the team win. He doesn't care who gets it. He can't bury himself and let this kid stay out there and continue to walk everybody.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Martinez hits it in the air to right field, but got underneath it. Bruce coming in. He'll make the catch, and the Reds get out of it. But the Indians score 2 here in the fourth. It's now a 6-3 game. Reds in the lead. We'll go to the fifth inning. FPO is brought to you in part by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. And by Alltel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. Another gorgeous sunset shaping up here in downtown Cleveland. A few clouds have come in, but still a nice night for a ball game. Tried with a couple of runs in the bottom of the fourth. They've made this a 6-3 game. Reds will have hitters 4, 5, and 6 coming up here in the fifth. Brandon Phillips, Lance Nix, Johnny Gomes. And Mike Good from NASA, the astronaut, just stopped by.
He stopped in to say hello. We threw out the first pitch tonight, and it was nice talking to him. He was on the last space shuttle, he just told me. That's got to be exciting, huh?
Absolutely. Have an opportunity to do something like that.
A Clevelander from Brecksville.
We had him on the pregame show tonight with Dave. Oka's
Dave
pitch
had him
to
on?
Phillips. Yep. Little pop there to right. This one could be trouble, and it falls, but foul. Yep. Michael Good got to throw out the first pitch tonight. There he is.
Look at that. Nice throw.
That's a strike.
Down and away. I'll tell you what, good location, Mike. He said he's with a party of 62, and they said they came to see him bounce that ball in, and he did a good job.
Yeah, he didn't bounce it in at all.
No, sirree.
He showed them. He's from the area, he was telling us, lives in Houston now.
Right, and watches us on MLB.TV.
You said it's great that he gets to watch our broadcast with the Indians as opposed to having to watch whatever you get, how it was in years past, so we appreciate that. So nice to see him at the ballpark. NASA Day here today, Progressive Field. 1-1 now to Phillips. Tomo Oka delivers that one inside. And Oka's up there in the pinch count, now at 83. There's nobody up in the Indians' bullpen, but we've seen Mike Gosling up earlier. 2-1. 3-1 now to Brandon Phillips. Phillips 0 for 1 tonight. He walked in the first, flew out back in the second. Phillips, of course, the former tribesman. He pitched way up high for ball 4. So once again, the Reds get the leadoff hitter aboard. And while Phillips trots to first base and Eric Wedge goes to the mound to make a pitching change, we will go back to our Ford Sports Update desk and check in with Dave Chudowski. Dave?
Well, Al, remember last night the Astros came back to beat the Tigers? Well, today they're really doing a number on them. Kaz Matsui, his second homer of the year. This off Alfredo Figueroa, a 2-run homer to make it 7-1. It's now 8-1 in the seventh. Back to you.
Dave, thanks for that. We have a pitching change here at Progressive Field. Tomo Oka is done, and Mike Gosling is indeed coming in. We'll tell you about Mike when we come back here on Sports Time Ohio. Cincinnati 6-3 here in the top of the fifth inning with one on and nobody out. Tomo Oka's night is done. So he struggled tonight for the Tribe. You check out his numbers there, and the one that we talked about, Rick, Reds were 0-2 or 1-2 count, 5 for 6 with a walk.
Well, yeah, and Tomoka cannot walk 4 guys in the course of a game because he's going to, usually very aggressive. Well, that brings on Mike Goose Gosling. Coming on and trying to hold the fort right here in the fifth inning. So they've got some outs to go, and it won't be much longer for Homer Bailey.
Lance Nix will be the first batter he faces. Nix 1 for 1 with a walk, a double, and a run scored thus far this evening. And he hits that one to right. Chu going over. It's near the foul pole. Chu will
interference.
He got it anyway.
Yes,
nice catch. Did. So Shin-Soo Chu, with a fan was over there, stuck his arm out, so he had to deal with that, and he still pulled it in.
I couldn't tell if the fan hit the ball or not because Chu started to run out of play, and I saw the arm go up, and if he hit it, it looked like a possible interference call because he was over there. But it just goes past his arm. So Chu was able to concentrate, stay on it, and make the catch. Nice play. And look at him, look at that guy. Say, what are you doing?
Why would you do that as a fan? You're not supposed to reach over.
Well, I would say something, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. You asked me.
So one away now. The batter is Johnny Gomes. He grounded out to shortstop back in the first inning. Flew out in the third. It's Brandon Phillips over there at first base. Draws a throw from Mike Gosling, who started the year with AAA Rochester, Minnesota's affiliate, was 7-1 with a save and a 4.37 ERA. Did that in 21 appearances before being released on June 2nd. There's a strike to Gomes. And when the Indians signed him, they said this is not just a left-on-left guy. This is a guy they want to come in and give him some length out of the bullpen.
Well, it certainly helps when you have a left-hander that can also get right-handers out. When you're coming in the middle part of the ball game, you don't want to match up at this time. You need him to give you an inning, possibly 2.
Pitch to Johnny Gomes inside. Even though Gomes is 0 for 2 tonight, he has hit the ball hard both times. Gomes on fire right now. Season's average at .355. Over 400 in the past week. The pitch just a little outside there. So 2-1 now to Johnny Gomes. The pitch is in. 3-1 to Gomes. He was promoted from Louisville on May 22nd. He's taking advantage of his opportunity. And he hits that one to left pretty well. Here comes Francisco, though, and he gets in the path and makes the catch. So 2 away. So Gomes is 0 for 3 tonight, though he's hit the ball hard all 3 times. Let's check in with our Alltel text poll question of the game. Which of the following Reds would you have most liked to seen play? This was before interleague play came in 1997. Was it Rose, Bench, Foster, Perez, or Concepcion? Text your answer to 31962, and we'll have the results for you coming up later here on the broadcast. So here's Jay Bruce. He homered back in the second inning. Hit a sacrifice fly in the third. Bruce with 2 RBIs tonight. Phillips on first base. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Reds ahead 6-3. That pitch low. So Bruce, now counting tonight, has 8 RBIs in his past 10 games. 2-1 the count. Pitch away. So 3-1 now to Jay Bruce. Rookie Ryan Hannigan is on deck. He'd be next. There he is. That pitch low, so Jay Bruce draws the walk. That'll move Phillips into scoring position down to second base. So both the Reds on here in the 5th inning have been there due to the walk. And now Ryan Hannigan. He lined out to Ben Francisco, who made a nice diving catch back in the 3rd inning. His first time up tonight in the 2nd, he singled and scored. And he's been getting quite a workout behind the plate tonight,
yes,
catching Homer Bailey.
He has been all over the place. Well, right now, really important, I think, for the Tribe to get out of this one, keep it a 6-3 ball game. You don't want them to answer that 2-run inning you had in the bottom half. Both these guys on base via the walk in this inning. Tribe now has walked 310 hitters. And that's the most by far.
That fly ball to right will be tracked down by Shin-Soo Choo. He makes the catch. The Indians are out of the inning. Cincinnati now 0 for 13 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position in this series. We go to the Tribe 6-3. Another nice night for a ball game here at Progressive Field. Nice crowd. And it'll be hitters 4, 5, and 6. Choo, Garco, and Hafner for the Indians against Homer Bailey, who has thrown 87 pitches already tonight. And his pitch count keeps going progressively higher. Through 15 pitches in the 1st inning, 21 in the 2nd, 22 in the 3rd, and 29 in the 4th.
Well, he has walked 2 in every inning but the 1st, when he walked the leadoff man, Jamie Carroll. So this is a guy that, I mean, and the Indians, I mean, this is a tough guy to hit off of because there's no consistent part of the plate he's throwing strikes to.
Yep. Shin-Soo Choo looks at ball 2 from Bailey. Choo struck out and walked. That pitch is strike over the inside corner at the knees. So 2-1 now to Shin-Soo Choo. The Indians lead off batter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one's a strike. So 2-2 now to Choo, as the Indians try and get that leadoff batter on here in the 5th. Choo hits that one down the first baseline. It's fair. Close play at first. He's out at first base.
Oh, good hustle. Very good hustle. Shin-Soo Choo, I'll tell you what, he heard him coming down the line. He
sure
just got there.
So that'll go 3-1 on the ground out. Let's take a look at it again.
Well, you get back there. Votto at first. He's going to break back on the ball, and I'll tell you what, he beat him by about 3 inches. So he's putting that foot down. Choo's right behind him. Good hustle.
So now Garco with 1 away here in the 5th. There's Shin-Soo Choo.
Now you like to see that, man. He gets down there and you give yourself a chance. You do that most of the time, you're going to get a few calls go your way before the course of the year is out.
He's really a guy that you enjoy watching play the game.
That's exactly right. He's fun to watch.
Garko a swing and a miss. 1-1 now to Gark. He's also walked and struck out tonight. Back in the second inning, he came around and scored the Indians' first run. Garko against right-handers this year. Now batting .240. Fouls that one back. So 1-2 to Ryan Garko. Travis Hafner on deck. With Bailey's pitch count at 95, Rick, do you try to work this guy and get him out of there now if you can?
You mean after the fifth, you try and get him through 5.
Again, trouble with the signals. It's also been the theme tonight for Bailey and Hannigan. They've start the signs over several times. Hannigan has gone to the mound several times. It's just Bailey's second start of the year. The major league levels. Garko fouls that one away. His other one came on May 23rd against Cleveland. Looking for this one away. Garko did a nice job wasting that pitch. Well, I guess you call this a defensive swing here.
Well, it's a swing to stay alive. It's a fastball. He picked that one almost out of the glove of Hannigan back there just to stay alive. He's been around the fastball, which is okay. Breaking ball or the split? He wants it down.
Garko hits that one deep to left, but it's hooking. It is foul.
See, right there is what happens when you hang a splitter. You know, he just fouled that fastball off over there. Well, this one was about 8 to 9 miles an hour slower. And you'll see what it does to your bat. It speeds you up, but it's upstairs. He's looking for that ball, that fastball again away. So he reacts to anything in. And if you're going to throw that pitch, it better be down and away.
A pitch inside to Garko, so 2-2 now. Indians and Reds will wrap up this series tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. We'll be with you on Channel 3 for the game. Indians on deck here on STO at 12:30 with Dave Chudowski. Now the 2-2. Garko hits that one to left, but very high. Drifting back is Nix. Has room. He'll make the catch.
Follow the Tribe on your iPhone and iPod. Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009. It's a great new application. Features play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcast. Visit Indians.com on your iPhone or iPod. Touch to purchase this app today.
So now Travis Hafner, the batter, who singled and popped out. And Homer Bailey is looking for his first 3-up, 3-down inning of the game. This is pitch 101, and it's inside for a ball. Pitch a strike. So the count even at 1-1 now to Travis Hafner. Reds scored 4 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The Indians with a single run in the second and 2 in the fourth inning. 6-3 here. 2 outs in the fifth, nobody on. A pitch low, 2-1 now to Travis Hafner. Reds with 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They've left 5 on base. The Indians 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. They've left 6 on. Now the 2-1. Hafner fights that one off foul. That'll make the count 2-2. Travis Hafner also starting a designated hitter last night, batting in the 6 hole. He was 0 for 4. He did reach on an error last night and score. He will most likely have tomorrow off. There's been talk of Grady Sizemore moving to the designated hitter tomorrow to give his elbow a rest from the field. Now the 2-2 pitch. Count runs full to Travis Hafner. Johnny Peralta would be next. Fans getting into it a little bit. And the 3-2 pitch from Bailey to Hafner. Travis hits that one to left field. Should be an easy play for Lance Nix. He makes the catch. And we've played 5 here at Progressive Field. 6-3 Cincinnati in the lead. And the Reds play ball. Take a chance for education. Odds are you'll have fun. 6-3 the score here as you take a look at the skyline of downtown Cleveland. We move to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be hitters 9, 1, and 2 for Cincy against Mike Gosling as Paul Janisch rips that one foul. Now 1-1 to Janisch. Janisch singled and scored back in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. Swing and a miss. Good little off-speed pitch there from Mike Gosling.
Absolutely. You see him get up there and try and pull that first pitch. You know what you do? You back off a little bit and say, hit that.
Indians called Mike Gosling up on June 19th. He throws that one in the dirt. 2-2 now. And his Tribe debut back on June 21st against the Cubs. Won an inning and 2/3 of scoreless work. This is his 2nd appearance with the Tribe. Swing and a miss. So Gosling gets his first strikeout tonight as Janisch is a victim. Let's take a look now at the game recap. Brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Jay Bruce got the Reds on the board in the 2nd inning with that solo home run. Then Jerry Hairston Jr. with the double. That made it 3-0. 6-1 when Grady Sizemore with the bases loaded and 2 outs delivered the single to right. Drove in 2 more. That's where we stand. 6-3. Cincinnati has the lead over the Tribe with 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Now the top of the order. Dickerson bouncing ball up the middle. Valbuena throws him out. So quickly 2 away here in the 6th.
Well, the Bud Light Party Deck is the best party area here at Progressive Field. Game tickets start at just $40, including an all-you-can-eat buffet and a fantastic view. Out in right field, call 216-420-HITS for information.
It's always a fun time out there. Plenty of places here in the ballpark now since it opened have been added. The batter's eye bar, the party deck. Can rent a suite out for a game-by-game basis. There's a bunch of people on one of the party decks tonight having a good time. It's a nice bunt by Jerry Hairston. Gosling fields it, but will have no chance to get Jerry Hairston. So he's aboard with the 2-out single. Hairston's 3rd hit of the night. Hey, spend the day golfing with celebrities from the world of pro sports, the Indians and MLB alumni, and more at the Cleveland Indians Charities Celebrity Golf Classic. What a great time this is. It happens this year on Monday, August 3rd at Quail Hollow Resort and Country Club. Your day will include golf, breakfast, lunch, and a post-golf cocktail party with live and silent auctions. For full details, you can call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com/golf. It's always a truly great time out there at Quail Hollow. Meanwhile, Joey Votto swings at the first pitch and singles to right. That'll put Reds at the corners now with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Joey Votto's first hit tonight. He's now 1 for 4.
Well, and he was able to find the hole. So that, for the Hairston, for that 2-out bunt, now they got first and third. Votto didn't give him an opportunity to steal, but he's on third base. So they've got something going again with 2 outs. That is hit number 10 for the Reds.
So there's Hairston at third base. Joey Votto's over at first. And Brandon Phillips the batter. He's walked twice tonight. Flew out his other time up back in the second inning. Phillips now 1 for his last 14. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Reds ahead by 3, and Brandon Phillips is trying to increase that. He hits that one, though, to right center field. Chu makes the call and the catch. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Tribe still trailing by 3. The 6th inning, and we'll see a new pitcher for the Reds. It'll be right-hander Nick Massett.
Appearing for the 25th time, Massett at his record 4-0 and a nice 182 earned run average. So you knew they couldn't go any longer with Homer Bailey after his 5 innings. 7 walks tonight. 2 of those 7 were able to come around and score.
And Bailey threw 106 pitches. Those 7 walks ties the most walks by a Cincinnati starter. Edinson Volquez also dished out 7 walks back on April 24th against Atlanta. So now Nick Massett, who last appeared for the Reds on Thursday in Toronto.
Well, he's holding hitters at just a 140 batting average from the end of April.
And he'll face Peralta, Valbuena, and Francisco, the bottom third of the Indians' order here in the 6th inning. Johnny Little looper to right. Looks like it will. Will be fair. Yes, it will. Peralta will come back to first and hang on there with the single. So he's aboard to start the 6th inning. 5th hit for the Tribe tonight.
Well, he ran that 2-seamer in, and that was up there. He was in the mid-90s. Johnny just fights it off and keeps it fair. Bloops it in front of Bruce in right field, and that is himself a single. It's just the 4th hit for the Indians. All singles tonight.
So Peralta on first base. Luis Valbuena the batter. Nobody out here in the 6th. Tribe down by 3. How frustrating is that, Rick, for a pitcher? You make a pitch like that through your head 0-1, and you got the batter, really, but he got the single. Valbuena to center field deep, but back there with room is Chris Dickerson. He'll make the catch for 1 out. Let's go back to the Ford Sports Update desk. Yankees and Mets in action tonight. Dave, what's going on at Citi Field?
Well, the Yankees getting the better of the Mets. This is Jorge Posada in the 6th, taking a ride on the Redding. That's off Tim Redding. 3-run homer to make it 5-zip, and that is the score of the 7th. Back to you.
All right, Dave. So the Yankees ahead of New York, the New York Mets. 5-0 there. Here it's 6-3 Cincinnati with 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ben Francisco the batter. He flew out back in the 2nd inning, walked and scored in the 4th. And he looks at a strike there from Nick Massett. Here's the numbers on Ben Francisco. Swing and a miss, so 0-2 to Francisco here. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Nice block there by the catcher Ryan Hannigan.
He's had a lot of practice at that in the first 5 innings, even though Homer Bailey had a couple of wild pitches. He's done a nice job back there.
So now 1-2 to Ben Francisco, getting the start in left field tonight. Another foul ball. Nick Massett came in the trade with the White Sox along with Danny Rechar last season for Ken Griffey Jr. in cash back at the trade deadline. St. Petersburg, Florida native.
Well, they tried him in the bullpen. He has a good arm. He just didn't fit for that White Sox team. They went out and they signed some guys, Octavio Dotel, and they signed Scott Linebrink. So they spent some money, and that made this guy expendable.
So Massett now in the Reds bullpen. As a 2-2 count to Francisco. Swing and a miss. So a strikeout for Massett. Third strikeout of the night for Cincinnati pitching.
Well, you can still get the Plain Dealer pin collection, but only through July 12th. This is an 18-pin set that is available at all Indians team shops and participating Northeast Ohio Walgreens, Circle K, and Giant Eagle stores.
So now Jamie Carroll as the Indians get to the top of the order here with 2 away. And Johnny Peralta on first base. Carroll looks at ball 1. He's walked twice tonight and lined out to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. The 1-0 pitch. That's fouled away. 1-1 to Jamie Carroll. Jamie Carroll has struggled at home this year. On the road, he's batting .349, while at home, he's hitting .212. That was coming into the game. Since he's 0 for 1, his average will go down a little bit. Two and one now to Carroll. Indians down by 3. Grady Sizemore on deck for the try. If Carroll can keep the inning going. That one hit to the second baseman, Phillips. He'll go to first. Carroll retired. So are the Indians in the 6th inning. We'll head to the 7th. 6-3, Cincinnati.
All your natural gas needs. Visit directenergy.com/GoTribe for details. And by AM/PM, too much good stuff. And welcome back to the 7th inning. The Reds holding on to a 6-3 lead here. Gosling back out for his 3rd inning of relief.
He'll face hitters 5, 6, and 7 here. Lance Nix leads it off for the Reds. He'll be followed by Gomes and Bruce. Nix with a walk, a double, and a fly out today, and he rips that one to right. Chu going back. It is off the wall. Chu will field it. Won't have a chance for Nix at second base. It's another double for Lance Nix. It's his 2nd of the night.
And it's a 4th double for the Reds this evening. Yeah, it's a hanging breaking ball. Lance Nix just turns on it. You go, oh, baby, it hangs right there. He was lucky to get away with just a double. He stayed back on it nicely, so Cincinnati with a leadoff double trying to add to a 6-3 lead.
Lance Nix breaking out of his little slump tonight. The 2nd hit, 3rd time that he's reached base. And now Johnny Gomes, the designated hitter. He's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight, but he's 0 for 3. Fouls that one away for strike 1. Going back to Lance Nix, coming into tonight's game, he was Just batting 180 in his last 15 games, but 2 hits tonight.
There's Gomes. He swung so hard. He lost his toe hold, lost the bat. He does not get cheated.
Remember Jack Clark used to put a swing like that on?
Yeah, well, Jack, yes, indeed.
Pitch inside. Now 1-1 to Gomes. There's his numbers. Swing and a miss. A good off-speed pitch from Mike Gosling. We've seen him use that very effectively tonight.
Well, he set that pitch up with the fastball inside the prior pitch. He backs him off the plate a little bit, and then you get that hitter maybe looking for the fastball. You pull the string, and he had good location on it down and away.
So now 1-2 to Johnny Gomes.
Back in. See, Victor knows. I mean, he's trying to keep those hitters off stride. You know, okay, you get him down and away with one, you back him off in. Maybe he'll double up again here. This would be another good pitch to try and double up inside. But he hasn't been able to throw it for a strike, which is okay, but eventually you're going to have to throw it in there for a strike. There he goes again.
Gomes pops that one out of play. Victor will give it a look, but it's into the stands. So the count remains 2-2 on Gomes. Gosling, for the most part tonight, Rick, has hit his spots, too, since he's come in relief in the 5th inning for Tomooka. Gosling in his second appearance as a tribesman here this evening. Still has not given up a run. And Cincinnati has the leadoff batter aboard with the double and Lance Nix at second base. 2-2 count on Gomes. Pitch a little up and out. Now 3-2. The lefty Jay Bruce is on deck. And Ryan Gomes looks like a different hitter this year for Cincinnati, Rick, than he did the last couple of years for Tampa Bay.
Well, he's aggressive. He's trying to make this club. He was fighting for it out of spring.
Hot shot to first. Gets by Garkle. They'll wave the runner in. Lance Nix scores. And the Reds have a 7-3 lead.
This ball off the end of the bat. It was like a cue shot. I mean, he swung so hard it goes right off the end of the bat, and it spins by Garko into right field, so it's able to score Nix easily.
And they've got an error on the board, the first of the game for either team.
That ball had some spin to it.
It did. Tough play for Garko. But it got by him and into right field. Now Carl Willis, the pitching coach, will come out to talk to Mike Gosling.
You know, remember in Chicago when the game-winning hit off Victor? That ball hit and it spun by him. That's basically the same thing that happened to Garko there. It had spin on it, and I mean, he's trying to knock it down. I want to see that again. Because what happens? You see, okay, off the end of the bat, that ball is a one-hopper. That's a base hit. That should be a base hit and an RBI, I think.
Well, and of course, they
it's
can
not
review
an easy
that.
Play.
Yeah, and change it later.
He'll see it again. You see it? That's right there. What he doesn't see sitting up at our level is the spin after that ball hits the ground. But either way, they score a run, and it's now a 7-3 game.
So that's the first run that Gosling has given up. No, it's unearned as a member of the tribe. And Jay Bruce takes ball one from Mike Gosling. He's thrown 34 pitches in relief tonight. Jay Bruce with a home run, a sac fly, and a walk. He's had a productive night, batting in the 7-hole in Dusty Baker's lineup. 18 home runs on the year now for Jay Bruce. The batting average still low at .212. He hits that one to right field. Chu going over. He'll get there and make the catch. Gomes will retreat to first base. And there's one away. Here's today's Direct Energy bringing the gas sequence.
Well, it's going to be the one and only strikeout that the Indians pitching staff has. Misses with a breaking ball up. Fastball down the line. He's going to change up away. They'll be 1-2. They would chase that pitch down. Got him on a breaking ball.
It was Paul Janisch striking out. Direct Energy offering simple solutions for all your natural gas supply needs. And Victor Martinez to head to the mound to talk with Mike Gosling here. Reds now with 7 runs on 11 hits. The Indians 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. There's Matt Hergis getting loose in the Tribe bullpen. And now Eric Wedge is going to come out and make the change. So Hergis will come on here with the righty Ryan Hannigan at the plate for Cincinnati. And we'll take a break here on Sports Time Ohio. 7-3, Cincinnati leads game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. We'll be back.
Matt coming on for appearance number 20. There's 1 out here, man on first. The Reds did put a run on the board. It was called an error off the bat of Johnny Gomes.
And now Ryan Hannigan looks at strike 1 from Matt Hergis, who began the year at AAA Columbus. He was recalled to Cleveland on May 6th. Made his Indians debut back on May 7th at Boston. Won a couple of innings, giving up 1 run on 1 hit, struck out 2. Got a nice streak going from May 17th to June 15th, nearly a month where he did not allow a run in 12 2/3 innings of relief. And that curveball hit back to Hergis. Runner was moving, so his only options to first. He'll retire Hannigan there. 1-3, 2 outs, and heading down to second base is Johnny Gomes.
Well, and you can see with a 4-run lead, Dusty Baker wants to start the runners. You can be a little more aggressive there as that ball was stopped by Hergis. His only play is to go to first base with it, and he does to get out number 2.
So now Paul Janisch to the plate. Went a bunt single back in the second inning, came around and scored. Walked and scored in the 4th, then struck out in the 6th. Takes a ball there from Matt Hergis.
Well, that's the one thing that. Did he switch it, Tommy? It's a base hit.
Swing and a miss there for Janisch.
The Reds in this first 2 games of this series have been outscored with 2 outs, 8-0. They have not scored with 2 outs. Did they switch that call? What's new? Watch
You're
the
right,
game.
Rick. 12 hits now for the Reds. Give Gomes a single. I think they heard you talking.
Well, no, they didn't hear me talking. I mean, just watch.
Grounder to short. Valbuena makes the play. And the Reds are retired in the 7th. They get another run. They lead it 7-3. It's stretch time at Progressive Field. On their beautiful patios. Panini's, the best food and outdoor dining in town. Visit paninisgrill.com. I bet that place will be hopping tonight for the ball game. New pitcher for the Reds. It's left-hander Arthur Rhodes making his 2nd consecutive appearance against the Tribe. He threw an inning last night.
Well, you've got the 2 left-handers in this inning, Sizemore and Chu. So you flip Victor over to the right side, and you have Rhodes, your left-handed reliever, your main one, facing the 2 lefties.
You'll see Sizemore, Martinez, and Chu. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Stomp the Reds sounds like a good idea. The Tribe down here 7-3. Need some runs. They have 9 more outs to do it. Sizemore tonight. Takes inside for a ball. He lined out back in the 1st inning, hit the ball hard, walked in the 3rd, lined a single to right and drove in 2 runs back in the 4th. And now he'll lead off the inning here in the 7th. Got the average up to 231. Takes a strike there from Arthur Rhodes.
Well, the one thing you know about Arthur Rhodes, and it's been this way his whole career, you're going to get a good fastball to hit. I mean, he's always been in the low 90s, and he's an aggressive guy. But when you get it, you don't want to miss it if you're left-handed.
Sizemore pops that one up, but foul and out of play behind the plate. So 1-2 now to Grady. Arthur Rhodes has been effective this year out of the Cincinnati pen. He's shut out the opponents in 28 of his 32 appearances. And opponents are hitting just 167 off of him.
He's come around. He's had a really nice year for Cincinnati, him and Weathers, the lefty-righty combo. And they're veterans, man. They've been around a long time. They've logged a lot of years in the game. And, I mean, experience says a lot when you're coming out of the bullpen.
Sizemore with another foul ball. Tonight's attendance, 28,646.
About the same as last night.
Yep. We had 28,114 last night, so 532 more people here tonight.
Those are all the tickets you left.
Yep. Glad they all made it.
Yes, they did. You got them into your suite.
Yes, I did. Way up there in the top row. Sizemore a grounder to first. Bottle backs up on it, throws to Rhodes, covering, one away here in the 7th inning. All right, our fantasy challenge now. Sizemore is a part of that for the Tribe, as well as Martinez and Chu. It's Votto, Phillips, and Hannigan for the Reds, and right now, Reds folks are leading it by 1, 6-5. Grady Sizemore scored all 5 points for the Tribe fantasy game tonight. The I-71 challenge. Our players voted on by our STO audience against the FSN Ohio audience. Now Victor Martinez with one away in the 7th inning. Tribe down by 4. Martinez tonight is grounded into a fielder's choice. Flown out twice. Swings and misses there on the first offering from Arthur Rhodes. Another swing and a miss. An off speed pitch there by Rhodes. He's been around. Of course, he pitched for Cleveland back in 2005. He's always been a very good setup man in his career. They tried him at closer. Oakland did, and that didn't really work out. But
well, we've seen that a number of times to a number of different players, throughout the years in baseball. They've got a good arm, but closing is a mentality.
Martinez watches that one go in the dirt for 1-2.
And there are times where sometimes your save comes in the 7th inning or your 8th inning, even though the closer gets the credit. In the 9th inning, when a lot of times games are on the line in that 7th inning. So good setup men are hard to come by as well.
And some of the best setup men are those that can get out both righties and lefties, and Rhodes is one of those who one year he was much more effective against right-handed batters than left-handed batters. Good play by the shortstop. Giannis throws across for out number 2. And you can now buy authentic Sports Time Ohio merchandise at STOstuff.com. Our first 3 items are up: an STO cap, an All Bets Are Off t-shirt, also an All Bets Are Off talking bottle opener that has Bruce saying "I love you, Cleveland." And coming in early July, we expect Rick Manning, another bobblehead for you. You and Matt Underwood with the bobblehead. You with Lenny Barker. I mean, you got quite a collection.
You're next. I'm getting you one. I got to tell you something. I want one of those.
We'll work
autographed Al Pulaski bobblehead.
I will autograph one for you. I'm sure that'll go right on your mantle next to the perfect game one with Lenny. Although, isn't there one out there that's got Manning on Barker's back and Barker on Manning's back?
I think, before they all came out and before the giveaway. I think we traced it.
Got it all
but
taken
there was
care of.
one out there.
Shin-Soo Choo batting here in the 7th inning. 2 outs, nobody on for the Tribe. The 0-1 pitch. Hit hard. Phillips, nice diving stop. Gets up, throws him out. Boy, Brandon Phillips, nice play. And the Indians go 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. We go to the 8th. 7-4, Cincinnati.
And they may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
We go to the 8th here at the ballpark. 7-3, Cincinnati has the lead. Matt Hurgis will work into his second inning of relief. He retired the two batters he faced back in the 7th inning. It'll be the top of the order: Dickerson, Hairston, and Votto for Cincinnati. As Dickerson looks at ball one. Chris Dickerson tonight, 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored back in the second inning. Singled in the 4th. Grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. Here's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. 1-1 to Chris Dickerson. Tonight's scoreboard update is brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 2-1 now to Chris Dickerson. Reds looking to even up this weekend series and take a 3-2 lead in the season series. They're up by 4 here. Fly ball to center. Sizemore drifting over to left center. Now watching Francisco come and take it. 1 out here in the 8th inning, and your chance to play 2 baseball games right here at Progressive Field. You'll receive 2 uniforms, gifts, and you'll be able to interact with Indians greats such as Len Barker, Joe Charbonneau, and Bob Feller. It all takes place on Saturday, July 11th. Space is limited, so you'll want to call today to reserve your spot at 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com and select fans for more information. That's the STO one-day baseball experience. That will surely be a good time. Here's Jerry Hairston with 1 away in the 8th inning. Good breaking pitch by Hurgis for strike 1. Hairston has had a good night. 3 for 4. The single, a double, and then a bunt single in the 6th inning. The only out he's made was a 6-4-3 double play back in the 4th. It's that one foul into the seats over by the first base dugout. Quickly 0-2 on Jerry Hairston Jr. There's a grounder to second. Carroll throws out Hairston, and quickly there are 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, tickets are available for the AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. It's a $32 upper reserve seat ticket that includes unlimited dogs, popcorn, peanuts, nachos, and Pepsi products. Visit Indians.com at the Indians team shop or the Progressive Field ticket office and purchase your seats today. And Dennis is going to take me over there. It's right over here on the right field side where the AM/PM seats are. And
it's another
good
great
little
deal.
Treat.
Yeah, especially if you like to eat, come hungry and take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Here's Joey Votto. 1 for 4 tonight with a single his last time up in the 6th inning. 2 outs, nobody on for the Reds here in the 8th inning. But Cincinnati in the lead, 7-3. Hurgis delivers that pitch a little bit inside for 2-0. Joey Votto with the average now at .349. 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in, and 146 at bats. Fouls that one off. We've talked about it this week, and the Reds really do need Joey Votto to produce, especially with these other guys out like Encarnacion and the like.
Right, he's probably their best hitter, and this guy has struggled. He's had some problems. He had the inner ear infection. He struggled with his dad's death. So, I mean, he's fighting his way back to get in and doing the best job he can possibly do to try and concentrate on the game of baseball.
Swings and misses there. 2-2 now to Joey Votto. The Reds' first baseman tonight hit cleanup last night, batting in the 3 hole tonight as he switched spots with Brandon Phillips.
You know, and you look at it, and the National League Central is wide open, I think, just like the American League Central. You're going to need all your horses. You're going to have to get healthy and just play solid baseball. Someone's going to have to get hot to win either one of these divisions.
There's talk of the Reds perhaps looking to add another bat to the lineup.
Well, they could use it. They certainly could use it. They have been inconsistent when it comes to scoring. They are 14th in the league in average, 12th in runs scored. They need production. They don't walk a whole lot.
Full count to Votto. And the Canadian rips that one to left center field. Francisco going back, looking up. It's off the top of the wall. Francisco plays it on one bounce. Votto going for the double. The tag not in time. So Joey Votto gets his second consecutive hit tonight. This a double. Comes with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Well, that did not miss by much. That's the 5th double for Cincinnati tonight. They have 6 extra base hits, boy, and he stayed on that changeup beautifully. I mean, and went the other way. Look at just underneath the yellow line. High off that wall in left field and gets in there quickly just to beat the tag.
So now Brandon Phillips to the plate with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Phillips tonight 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. He's now 1 for his last 15. Just a breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. Brandon Phillips says that his friends call him all day because he's smiling all day and he's talking all day.
I know he talks. He has fun playing the game. He enjoys it.
He does. Yes, he does.
And you should. Rightfully so. There's nothing wrong with that.
Grounded to short. Valbuena made him up. So everybody's safe as Votto will advance to third. Phillips is on at first. Probably an error on Valbuena.
Yeah, that's an error. He tried to rush it instead of, making a play, coming set. He charges it and gives himself an error. Look, he comes in and tried to make it all on one play. Look, come on up. Ball bounces off his glove. It'll go as an error. So they get an extra out in the inning.
So E6 puts Reds at the corners with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Lance Nix, who's had a couple of doubles tonight, a couple of runs scored as well. He's been on base 3 of the 4 times he's come to the plate. He's hitting now. White Lance Nix has been driving the ball tonight to right. He could break this one open a little bit. Pitch up high. Nix checks his swing. Not in time, says third base umpire Adrian Johnson. So strike 1 to Lance Nix. His younger brother Jason is an infielder for the White Sox. Lance Nix, 28 years old, from Dallas, Texas. Swings and misses. Good pitch there with some sinking action to make it 0-2. There's the runners. Votto at third. Phillips at first. 2 away here in the 8th inning. And 2 strikes to count on Lance Nix. That one hit foul and into the stands. Count remains 0-2. The Reds have pounded out 13 hits tonight. The Indians with only 4, and all 4 of those hits have been singles.
Yeah, difference. They have 6 extra base hits, 5 doubles and a home run. So they really have. They've hit the ball well tonight. Indians are very fortunate to still be in this game.
Sure are. One and 2 now to Lance Nix. Matt Hurgis throwing 24 pitches now, 17 of those for strikes. Now the 1-2 to Lance Nix. Inside, almost hit him. It'll even the count at 2-2. So Lance Nix working his way back into the count. Dusty Baker there had Lance Nix on the bench. He's made 36 starts this year, but until tonight, his last start was Wednesday in Toronto. Now, well, Tim McClellan walked away. I think time was called. No official sign, but yep, that's what it was. Time was called by the home plate umpire.
Huh.
So the count remains 2-2. So again, the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Matt Hurgis the strikeout. Reds out in the 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom half. Tribe looking for runs. They're down 7-3. Park from our Panini's Cam up above Progressive Field. One of the great attractions when you come out here to the ballpark. Make sure you check that out. See some of the Indians Hall of Famers. And that new pitcher is the man who made his pro debut in 1988, David Weathers.
Well, you talk a guy that has been around. Made his 925th career appearance in his last time out. He's averaged, 67 appearances the last 10 years. So he has really been in a lot of ball games when you come to think about it. Nothing overpowering. He's been a closer at some point. He's back in the setup role. A good slider. That's his bread and butter.
You'll see hitters 6, 7, and 8 here for the Tribe in the bottom of the 8th inning, and delivers strike one to Ryan Garco. It'll be Garco, Hafner, and Peralta here in the 8th. Garc tonight struck out, walked, flew out, and here he grounds out to the shortstop, Paul Janisch. Here's our results to our Alltel text poll question this evening. What Cincinnati Red do you wish you could have seen? You said Johnny Bench, 57%. P. Rose with 33%. Foster Perez and Concepcion with minimal numbers. Thanks for voting. We'll have a new text poll question for you tomorrow. Brought to you by Alltel. So one away for Travis Hafner. Tribe down 7-3 here in the 8th inning. David Weathers was selected by the Blue Jays in the 3rd round of the June 1988 free agent draft. He was 18 years old at the time. He's going to turn 40 on September 25th. Made his major league debut with Toronto in 1991. He's also 19th all-time in appearances, just past Cy Young back in May.
Think about that.
That's something.
But coming out of the bullpen.
Right.
That has a difference. Cy was starting most of the time.
There's the career numbers on David Weathers. 925 appearances. That is a lot. 2-1 now to Travis Hafner.
That's being blessed with a rubber arm where you're able to go out there time and time and time again.
Hafner lines that one to left. That's a base hit. Going over his Lance Nix. Can't get it. Goes to the wall. So Hafner on his way to second base. And he's in there with the double. So the Indians with the runner in scoring position. 1 out here in the 8th inning.
First extra base hit tonight for the Tribe. Hafner, he really stayed on that ball nicely. And, I mean, this ball skipped past Nix in left field. That ball hit hard, and it gets all the way to the wall. He couldn't cut it off. So Hafner doubles. That's double number 8 this year.
His second hit of the ninth. So Travis now 2 for 4 on the evening as Johnny Peralta looks at ball 1 low. Peralta's had a good night. He's reached all 3 times he's come to the plate with 1 walk and a couple of singles. So he bats here with the runner at second. 1 out in the 8th inning. The Tribe trailing by 4. He fouls that one off his leg. 1-1. Final note for you on David Weathers with his appearances. It's 926 tonight. Gene Garber is 18th on the all-time list with 931. So David Weathers will probably move into 18th place this year. That is a lot of work. 1-1 to Peralta. Checks his swing, but it was at the knees for a strike. 1-2 now. Indians and Reds with the Ohio Cup on the line this weekend. Sponsored by the Ohio Lottery. Right now the season series even at 2. But here in game 5 of the 6, Reds have the lead 7-3. Game 6 tomorrow. Final interleague game of the season. It'll be at 1:05 here at Progressive Field. Also Kids Fun Day. Of course, that means plenty to do for the kids. Out on the plaza between the Q and Progressive Field. Johnny checked his swing there. Held up in time. No appeal. Full count to Peralta. And there's the information for you when we'll be with you. We'll be over on Channel 3 tomorrow at 1:05. Indians on Deck begins at 12:30 with Dave Chudowski on Sports Time Ohio. Full count to Johnny Peralta. Swung on and hit high in the air to center field. Chris Dickerson drifting over. 2 down. Hafner tagging. Comes the throw to third, but not in time. So Travis safe on the advancement, but 2 away here in the 8th inning. That'll bring Luis Valbuena to the plate. Luis tonight 0 for 3. Rounded into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Rounded out to the shortstop in the 4th. Flew out to center in the 5th. And he looks at a strike from David Weathers. Weathers, of course, pitched briefly for the Tribe back in '96. There's Travis Hafner on third, but 2 away here in the 8th inning. Valbuena takes the ball inside. It's that one foul. So 1-2 now to Luis Valbuena. How tough is it, Rick, as a young player when you come up and then you get a little bit of playing time, then all of a sudden you're playing every day?
Well, that's what you come for. I mean, you want to play every day, and it's a learning experience. It's fun.
Inside to Valbuena, 2-2.
I mean, you find out how good this league is when they start, working on you, and the scouting report gets out on what you're doing, and I mean, that's the good thing about it. That's how you learn. That's how you become an everyday player.
Valbuena hits that one in the air to right. Drifting in foul territory. Votto out there. Makes the catch. He's almost in right field. It's the end of the 8th. Tribe trailing by 4. We go to the 9th here on Sports Time Ohio. 9th inning here at Progressive Field, 7-3 Cincinnati, and we'll get our first look at Jose Veras in a Tribe uniform as he's come on to pitch. He was activated today after being acquired from the Yankees on June 24th for cash, and Jensen Lewis was sent to Columbus.
Well, it's a good chance. He's been off for a little bit. A chance for him to come in and get some work in and feel comfortable. There's not a lot of pressure in this ball game. Their Tribe are down 4 runs.
Jose Veras was 3-1 with a .596 ERA and 25 appearances for the Yankees this year. He was designated for assignment on June 16th. He's added to the Indians roster today. He's been very good against right-handed batters this year, as they've only hit 180 against him. And 9 of his last 12 appearances with the Yankees were scoreless, so We'll see what he gives the try up here as he'll face Johnny Gomes, Jay Bruce, and Ryan Hannigan. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the Reds order.
He'll be the 24th pitcher used by the Tribe this year, which is most of anybody in the majors.
Pitch outside for a ball. So Jose Veras making his Indians debut tonight. Pitch just off the corner. 2-0 now to Johnny Gomes. Hit the ball hard his first 3 times up tonight. Then in the 7th inning, hit a spinner that went into right field. That's the way it kind of works. That was his only hit. Sometimes you hit the ball hard, you hit it right at people, and then you hit a spinner and you get your base hit. So Johnny Gomes fouls that one away. 2-1 for Johnny Gomes. Grew up in California. It's that one high, but foul once again, coming back. 2-2 for Johnny Gomes. Jose Veras this year, his real problem was away from New Yankee Stadium. In New York, he was 3-1 with the 4.67 ERA. That's not great, but on the road this year, no record, but an 8.64 ERA.
Well,
he gave up 8 runs in 8 1/3 innings. Good curveball there. Strikes out Gomes looking. So 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Well, and that's where the ball was flying out of his Yankee Stadium, where he pitched well.
Look
There's
at this
the breaking
pitch.
ball. He was sitting dead red, and it locked him up. So he'll strike out his first hitter. Good breaking ball.
So 1 away in the 9th for the Reds. That'll bring Jay Bruce to the plate. Bruce, who homered his first time up, hits a hot shot grounder to first, but Garco gloves it. Flips to Veras covering. Quickly 2 outs here in the 9th inning. That's the way you like to start your career with a new team. Now Ryan Hannigan, the catcher. The rookie has singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Lined out in the 3rd. Flew out in the 5th. Grounded out to Matt Hergis, the pitcher, in the 7th. So 2 outs, nobody on here in the 9th inning, but the Reds in the lead 7-3. Jose Veras making his first appearance for the Tribe. Just added to the roster today. Pitch low for a ball. So 1-0 to Ryan Hannigan. Veras will step away. Well, you know, the Indians this season, Rick, have done all they can to try to find somebody coming out of that bullpen that can provide them some consistency.
Well, it's been a tough road, you know, to try and find somebody to be consistent because they haven't been consistent all year.
The pitch a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. The thing is, sometimes you'll see guys that'll show you consistency, but it's only for a short period of time. It makes it even more frustrating.
That's not going to cut it.
Right. As you mentioned earlier, this is the 24th pitcher used by the Indians this year, and we're not even in July yet. Two and one. Or no, that's a strike. 1-2 to Ryan Hannigan.
You've been pretty good today on the calls, though, from Tim McClellan. He can delay a little bit, and you have a tendency to, he can get you, but overall you've been good.
Now the 1-2 pitch. It's in the dirt, 2-2. And the other thing regarding the bullpen situation, it's been talked about. There's a possibility the Indians could go down to Double-A and bring somebody up in Akron. And they do have Hector Rondon down there who's doing well, but he's doing so well as a starter. Do you want to leave him in that role? And to make the jump from Double-A, I mean, players have done it, but to make the jump from Double-A to the majors, that's a nice little leap.
Well, especially if you're going to pitch in a new. Oh, he was walking away. How about that?
Well, Hannigan thought it was strike three.
Well, everybody did, except the umpire.
Tim McClellan did not.
Watch, Hannigan's going to walk. There it is. That's a strike. And everybody. Veras is walking away.
So now the payoff pitch. And that is strike three. Fourth strikeout of the night for Indians pitching. Veras goes 3 up, 3 down in his first appearance as a Tribesman. We go to the bottom of the ninth. 7-3 since Tribe, and they'll do it against the Reds closer, Francisco Cordero. He's come on tonight. He'll be the 5th pitcher for the Reds. Cordero needs some work.
Yeah, even though it's not a safe situation, he's going to split it up and give everybody an inning. This will be the 4th pitcher looking to get 1 inning of work after Bailey, looking for the win. Went 5 and gave up 7 walks. So far, their bullpen, Cincinnati, 3 innings, have given up 2 hits, 41 pitches, 28 strikes to this point. And this guy has got outstanding stuff.
Sure does. Francisco Cordero is a member of the 100 and 100 club. Only the 11th pitcher in history.
Saves in each league.
You got it.
Well, I remember he was with Texas. He had that great slider, went over to Milwaukee, and had a couple of great years before signing here with Cincinnati.
He has some impressive names on that list. Lee Smith, Jeff Reardon, Randy Myers, Raleigh Fingers, John Wetland, Jose Mesa, Doug Jones, and Bob Wickman, all former Tribesmen also on that list, as well as Goose Gossage. And you go with Urbina. He'll face Francisco, Carroll, and Sizemore. They're the scheduled hitters here in the 9th inning. And he delivers ball 1 to Ben Francisco. He was 0 for 2 tonight, but he walked and scored a run back in the 4th inning. There's a strike at the knees. Cordero has converted 18 of 19 save opportunities this year. Now, this is not a save opportunity with the 4-run lead, as Francisco lines that one just foul outside the line in left. So 1-2 now to Ben Francisco. Grounds that one to the left side. Hairston cutting in front. Makes the play. So 1 out here in the 9th inning. Time now to take a look at tonight's Northern Ohio Buick Pontiac GMC performance of the game. And that, of course, is Jerry Hairston, 3 for 5 tonight.
He had a good night, no doubt about it. Bunt base hit. A couple of singles, RBI double in the 2nd. So Jerry Hairston with a very good night.
Now Jamie Carroll at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Looks at strike 1 from Francisco Cordero. Cordero has 229 career saves. That's 30th on the all-time list. Carroll 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of walks. That pitch is in there. 1-1 now to Jamie Carroll. Don't forget to stick around for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show immediately following this one. We'll have highlights from tonight's game. Look ahead to the pitching matchup for tomorrow afternoon's game. As Carroll grounds that one to short. Yanish, quick throw, gets Carroll by a step. 2 outs. And Dave Chudowski will have the highlights from around the majors. We'll get you caught up on all the happenings today. We also hope to have Eric Wedge on the postgame show as well, so stick around. It's the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show coming up immediately following this one. 2 outs in the 9th inning now. Tribe trailing by 4, and Grady Sizemore will come to the plate. It's 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. Also has a couple of RBIs. Takes ball 1 from Francisco Cordero. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good action on that breaking ball. Poor Cordero just kind of sunk away from Sizemore there.
No, and plus he gets it up there in the low 90s, so he's got an excellent arm.
Definitely one of the premier closers in the game. Almost hit Sizemore there. He got out of the way of that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. So 2-1 to Grady Sizemore. Victor Martinez on deck. He would be next if Sizemore can keep it going here in the ninth. Little pop. Foul on the left side. Hairston there. Makes the catch. Game over. Reds a winner tonight. The final score, Cincinnati 7, Cleveland 3. So the Reds now lead the season series 3-2.